I would let a kid play with it. Anyways,
Hello, everybody.
hello everybody.
We got a few
Whoever,
people here. We got Josh, of course, and Josh is free
yeah,
because he can be free, and we are grateful that you are free. We got Nerd
nerd,
101,
K
and we
Munin,
got K Munin. Hey, K Munin.
mm-hmm.
And of course, we
And
got
Kentucky
saying hello and then.
Mud.
Hey, Brandon, how are you? We got your package
Yes, we
today.
did.
Thank you very much. We enjoyed everything. We did an unboxing. I guess David will put it up in a day or
Probably
two.
yeah, probably tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I could put it up tomorrow because I put one up today already.
Okay.
Which, if some of you probably seen it, is that yard sale. We did get to garage sale, whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
We did get to it, and it was a big, primarily, with a couple of exceptions, all vintage toy yard sale.
Yeah.
A lot of mismatched pieces and like
Yeah.
bins full of parts and stuff like that, but they had some other stuff. And Marvel fan
Hey,
is
Hank.
here, and Hank.
How you doing?
But we did do some picking.
Marvel fan.
I found a couple of things. She really didn't.
Yeah, I
She
didn't
really
find anything. We got
almost did, but apparently
yeah,
not.
yeah. We were a little late to the
Yeah.
game. I didn't think we were because the thing started at 10. We
Mm-hmm.
got it might be 10:15.
Unit.
People was already there. And somebody grabbed. They had 2 box strawberry
Oh, I know it.
shortcakes, and somebody got that, and they had a couple of Batman the animated series figures, and I wanted to at least look at them to see, what it was,
Yeah, but there was.
but
And it is. I recognize probably almost everybody there. I don't know them personally, but we know them
yeah,
from shows. They're all dealers. They're all
yeah,
dealers there picking
yeah,
everything over. Munin says Super shows are on clearance at Walmart, or Super Sevens rather, are on
yeah,
clearance at Walmart already.
yeah.
What's that? Uncarded. Did you hear about the controversy surrounding Hasbro and the Once a Man Cobra Commander?
No,
Is there controversy?
I didn't hear about it.
No, I didn't hear anything.
I'm
And
glad you
Mud said,
liked it. Well, it wasn't the 77.
yeah, that's what we're talking about. Now we'll show it in a little bit here. Give some people a chance to get in
Yeah,
to the live stream. But yeah, I do have a little bit of a haul, and I do show it at the end of that
yeah,
yard sale video. It's been a long time since we've been to something that turned out like that.
yeah.
That the last one was when Maz used to do it in
In
Illinois.
Illinois.
That's right. He used to
Yeah.
do that. And this is Atlanta Vintage was hosting it. And basically, it's their overflow. They buy out huge lots of whatever, and they don't have time to sort through it.
Yeah.
So they said they'll be doing it again in a few months.
Mm.
And so what I'll do next time is I'll add it to the roundup in case anybody in the Atlanta area who's not a dealer wants to try to get in there.
I
You
don't
know
know
what I
what
mean?
time you got to be there because we were
They
there.
said 10.
Yeah, but we should have known better.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
10
okay.
means 9:30 at
It
least.
probably means 6. I'm serious because when you go to the toy swap,
Yeah.
that thing starts at 10.
Yes.
People are there at 6.
Yeah, because we talked to the guy.
Hey, Raccoon Eyes.
Raccoon Eyes is there as
And
well as
see here, read here.
We talked to the one guy at the retro toy swap. I'm on a, I know a few of them, and he was like, "Yeah, I came here really early. I came here at like 7 up, so I could 7:30, so I could get set up.
Mm-hmm.
Have plenty of time to get set up." And there was already like dealers out here trying to buy out people's lots and buy out their tables and stuff. And I'm like, damn, give it a break.
Were actually from the late 2000s. See, I
Okay,
told
some
you
of
it
the
was
Star
some
Wars.
2000s
Yeah,
stuff.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't notice
Yeah.
because it's probably some of those like retro action ones. Most likely is
those ones you always see when it used to be a show in Illinois, and you bring a carded figure and you got in
you got
free,
a free admission,
and they had like this bin at the front.
Yeah.
And it was full of those Star Wars figures. The one
and
with the
Playmate Star Trek.
Yeah. That's all that was in there. And it's like, wow. And we brought one.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow. Yeah. So they had a couple of boxes of those. And like David said, a lot of parts. So if you had GI Joe and Star
If you
Wars
knew
figures,
specifically what it was
yeah,
exactly that you were missing, you might could have found. I don't know, because a lot of those pieces, man, they were stripped bare, and
mm-hmm,
I honestly, that breaks my heart because I know that somebody tore that whole toy apart and sold every little piece
yeah,
on eBay, and that shell is all that's left. That's what that is. Nerd says the early bird catches the worm, unless it's Earthworm Jim.
yeah, because we wasn't early and we didn't catch no. Well, David caught a couple of worms.
Yeah, I caught a
I
couple of things
ain't
that
caught a
people were like,
fish.
"Where'd you find that?"
Severus is here.
Yeah,
Hey,
Severus,
and we
and
got William Randall.
he says Pixel Dan influenced me to get a spectacular Spider-Man comic. It's got Spider-Man fighting the Green Goblin on a
Ah,
hologram
oh, that's
cover.
cool.
Okay, you were an influence. I hope it was a positive influence. I hope it was a positive influence. But the calendar that he was talking. Oh, this is still sitting here, by the way. This is from Brandon,
Yeah, Kentucky Mud.
Kentucky Mud. You see, it's still got the Kmart price tag on it. That's because this is actually from 1988,
Yeah,
which is technically vintage now. That's scary.
2000 is vintage.
Yeah,
24 years
yeah,
ago.
gee whiz. But
Yeah.
oh
So
my god. And he said C said just a review on the original
I saw
Beetlejuice and the
that.
other channel.
Hmm.
They had a decent toy line. Yeah, an underrated one. It's probably blown up now.
Yeah, I got a few of those figures. I need to finish working on that.
Yes. This is the calendar that was there that we grabbed. And for some reason, I thought it was 1977. It's not. It's actually 1978. It's still really cool. I love the artwork on this. And this is what LPH wanted. It's still hers. It's just not 1977 anymore. It's 1978 now.
Yeah, that's my brother's birth
Yes.
year, so it's in honor of him.
And Johnny Future is here.
Hey.
Oh, he got his Wicked Witch.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
Yeah, I got mine.
But man, I love the artwork in this.
Yeah.
It's so nostalgic. This is classic Sesame Street.
Yeah, you got it in the mail.
Oh man, look at that. And it's the calendar is still in great shape. The colors are nice and vibrant and everything, you know.
Yeah, and for y'all that don't know, C Reed here has a channel where he does movie reviews. And it's usually older movies. Um and he just did Beetlejuice. So go over to the channel and watch if you like movie reviews, And again, it's not current movies, it's older movies. Donald Layton.
Yeah, Munin says a hearing that the year 2000 is considered vintage now just feels wrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Donald Layton has joined us.
When you look at it, it is. I mean, 20 years is vintage.
And 100 antique is 100. So if it's not 100 years old and someone says antique, you tell them they don't know what the hell they're talking
Good
about.
to see the live stream. No, I didn't get any.
No, well, this
oh yeah,
calendar,
this calendar.
This 1978 Sesame Street calendar with this like crazy artwork in here. I love the artwork though. This is great. I don't know who. I recognize the style. I can't remember the name. Look at the Russians. Kentucky Mud said the guy that semi went through the stuffed animals. I said y'all missed out. That guy gets over a lot. Don't worry about him.
He was fine.
He was fine. He gets over a lot.
Hey Donald, how are you?
Hey.
Hey David.
Blue Splash.
He always getting over. So for him to miss one or two things, he all right.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
And I happen to know that he already has one.
Ernie Muppet was kind of cool.
That's the Ernie puppet, and it is the child guidance puppet from the 70s. And I have some boxed child guidance puppets, but not Ernie.
Mm-hmm.
And I went ahead and I grabbed the Ernie loose anyways. One, because it was dirt cheap. The prices were actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
basically they just eyeballed it and said, how about this? They weren't calculating anything.
No.
One, because this I had when I was a kid. I had the Ernie puppet, and that's the only one I had. Two, because you see how his arms are kind of stiff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a foam tube inside of his arms.
Mhm.
And whenever you see these puppets loose, those tubes are always missing. They're never there.
Hey, Tommy.
So I was like, yeah, okay. And then of course he was like, where did you find that? I just looked in there. But yeah, he has one. I know he does because he's got one in the box. I know. Okay, he's got one in the box.
Alien Romulus is pretty
Alien
good.
Romulus is pretty good.
I didn't hear
I haven't
about.
heard anything about that.
Yeah,
Says Hank. Anyways, but yeah, Child
But he's
Guidance. It's a throwback
Oh, okay.
to the. Oh, and Munin says thanks for the heads up on the Big Bad Toy Store sale. Yeah, Big Bad Toy Store, massive clearance going on right now.
Yeah.
Massive clearance going on. I can't get my hand all the way in there to his mouth. My mitts are too big.
Oh well.
It's. I'll have to do. Well, that's pretty stiff actually.
It
This is a pretty solid vinyl.
Uh,
But and he still has his hair too. That's important. You see how he's got his pointy top hair? I often see these with the hair cut all the way down because
Oh.
at some point some kid probably decided their Ernie needed a haircut. He still has his hair. He still has the foam. C. Reed says the Fisher Price Sesame Street playset is my unicorn. Mine was stolen as a child. Oh no, that stinks.
That's the one that I have with the little city street, right?
No, you have the
Mr. Hooper store.
no.
No.
Yours is, I think, the Ilko one, not the Fisher Price. The Fisher Price one is, or no, Play School. The play is it the? Did you have C. Reed? Did you have Play School or Fisher Price? Because I know the Fisher Fisher Price. Never mind. I know what I'm talking about now. The Fisher Price had the little people version.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the ones that are more like figurines was Ilko, and that was in the early 80s. Severus says seeing Cookie Monster on Twitter as the Olympic correspondent has been great. The athletes giggling like kids was awesome. I haven't seen anything really hardly from the Olympics. But yeah, this was just cool for me.
Have you heard of the artist Boris Vallejo? World famous artist, does calendars since late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, I've heard of
He
Boris.
still does calendars.
I've heard of Boris. And then the Kaleidoscope. He said the same thing. Where did you find that? I looked in there. Same guy. He was like, I was looking for a kaleidoscope. Were you? I don't know.
Yeah, look hard.
Yeah, this is Steven Manufacturing 1980. See, it says Steven right there. Classic kaleidoscope. And of course, for those of you who are too young, this is translucent white plastic. And you aim that towards light and you look in the little hole and you turn this and the magic happens. The magic happens. I actually filmed a short with this.
Yeah.
Because I was able to film down in the hole. I wonder if I can do that here. Can we look in the hole?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you can see
yes.
it pretty clear.
Hold on a second here while I get that wound up, everybody. It's trippy time. If I can hold it still. Hold on a second because it shifted. There we go. We're getting somewhere. We're trying to get it centered right. There you go, everybody. Now, people are tuning in for the first time or looking at this and going, what in the hell is going on? But this was a classic toy for many, many years. I don't know if they even make these anymore. And Robert says, I'm surprised you didn't pick up the Hot Wheels Airport set of the slot car set. They weren't complete, Robert. I did look through there, even though the one set had... it still had some parts that was sealed in the bag. There was a lot of stuff not there, and so I was like, I don't want to do it. But there we go. I'll stop here in a second. Just thought that you'd be interested if you've never seen this. It works better if it's flat, because the colors mix better if you're looking down into it as opposed to holding it out this way.
Okay. This name looked Russian, I think. But anyway.
What name?
This one.
Tuck?
That's what that said?
Just call him Tuck. That's
okay,
fine.
Tuck.
Tuck.
I remember Boris. He married another artist, Julia, I
Julie
think.
Bell. And Tommy is
said
here.
yes, he did.
And Peter,
Hey, Peter.
eyes pink, heart shape. And Nerd says, I have a beautiful Chad Valley kaleidoscope.
Hmm.
And he said, Boris did movie posters. Yeah.
Oh, he
It's
did.
similar to Frazetta.
Oh, okay.
Hank says, McFarlane's toys are not getting restocked in my local stores. Could they be getting phased out of my area because stores in other cities are still carrying them? They ain't out here either.
They're not in our Walmart.
They're not out here either.
Haven't been to Target in a minute,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not in the Walmart at all. Excuse me. We got 2 different Walmarts close by. Been to both trying to look for something.
Kentucky said you have to play Iron Butterfly when you do that. Or Incense and Peppermints. Oh, by the way, he drew this.
Yeah, Brandon did.
Yes, he drew this. This is the card, and of course, it's going to go on our card wall.
Yeah,
because when people send us things,
you put it on
to our
wall.
P.O. box. If they have a card or a note, we put it up there because we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nerd says that fascinated me as a kid. A little kaleidoscope. It's interesting. Oh, the Horikawa. Yeah, I'm going to show that here in a minute too, because a lot of people probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'll go get my
Yeah, there you go. Shame on you.
Boris and
oh, no.
Mary Julia.
I'm going to get that. I might as well show that.
What's the best John Carter of Mars figure? Sorry for the whiplash question.
John
That's
Carter
fine.
of Mars. I think the only time they did it, anything, didn't they make figures after they did the live action film, like a few, like 15 years ago, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only time
that they did figures.
Yeah, they never, because John Carter's one of those old school ones, like Tarzan, going all the way back.
Who made the figures 15 years ago?
I do not remember. Because more modern, I'm not sure off the top of my head. But if anyone else wants to chime in on that, I can't remember everything. I try.
But at least if you look on eBay and you see a time frame in the 2000s, you'll know, okay, this is the oldest one, because it wasn't one before that.
Yeah. This is the Horikawa. Okay. The robot here, and he's missing one of his little panels there. But you've probably seen robots like this before, a battery operated robot, and he shuffles his little feet. He shuffles and then does whatever, makes sparks or some kind of crap. And this one is the dinosaur split head one, and this is one that a lot of people look for, these where the helmet opens up and this like dinosaur monster head pops out, right? And then after the head pops out, the mouth opens and a light flashes out of the mouth. If it works. And this one does.
It scares the heck out of the cats.
Yeah, it makes a crap ton of noise, but then the head pops out and the mouth fires. Let me hold on. See, this is a lot of freaking noise. But it will open up here. Sooner or later. It takes its time. There we go. Nuts.
Yeah.
But that's, nobody knows what this is. Who knows what this is? Me. I knew what it was. And the same guy was like, where did you find that?
It does seem as though McFarlane figures are being phased out of several stores. The awful job they did with the Demon Slayer figures are coming back to haunt them.
Really?
I guess.
And C. Reed says, so too bad there's no John Carter of Mars toy line, such an underrated film. The film was pretty decent. And did anybody notice that they completely recomputer generated an entire scene from Phantom Menace in that film?
No, because I ain't see the film.
Well, you didn't see it, but the film was good, and it felt kind of like the old John Carter. Munin says, even with the missing face panel, it's an amazing piece. I thought it was cool. And Blue Splash said, went to Ollie's, and my goodness, they're getting so much toys and many new Legends and Star Wars. It's way too much. Employee told me they're getting stuff for Christmas. Of course, may as well get started now. Christmas already. And Brian
Hey,
has joined us.
Brian, how are
Brian
you?
has joined us. You missed the. He might have just seen it because we don't know when the comment came up. My working. Let me see. Oh, and he went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
He went to bed. I guess that was the end of it. But that's just fun. That's just fun. Robert says he
Oh,
wanted
wow.
I wanted the Battlestar Galactica comic. I wanted to remember the particular comic coming out at my local pharmacy along with rack toys. The thing is, and you might have heard it on the video, he wasn't kidding. That whole case was full of them, and they were okay. But there was a people had put price tags on all of them. Whoever, wherever they came from, they put price tags across all of them,
Yeah.
and that's why people weren't touching them, quite frankly.
But you probably could get that off with a hair dryer or something.
Maybe it's pretty old. I mean, you're talking like 1978. So,
Mm,
yeah.
too many motorized things. The one I really liked as a kid was a Transformer Skylynx.
Skylinks. Now, this was just an oddball pickup for me. This one was the Darth Vader Star Wars name badges, and it's sealed. That's a sealed package, and this is from 1977. Like anything sealed Star Wars from 1977, I'll take it. I know it's the weirdest thing. It's like people who collect like party favors. They've got like
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas party hats and stuff.
And then the toothbrush dispenser, the toothbrush, the toothpaste. We saw this one video and a guy collect Ninja Turtles. He had everything, the balloons, the party favors, the
Sealed Hostess pies.
yeah. I mean, it was like, dude, who keeps the party hats and the blowout thing and the napkins and the plates? He had all that, and I'm like, wow. And then we just saw another video. A person got like all this rainbow bright stuff.
That was a
Same
big
thing.
collection.
Yeah, same thing. All the party favors, napkins, cups, plates. It's like, who kept that stuff sealed?
Somebody who didn't get to have their party. That's who it was.
I guess the party got canceled.
The party was canceled. Maybe they were naughty. They're like, you're not having that party now, young lady. We're putting that stuff in the attic.
Yeah,
Mama. And this box had a gaff. Viewmaster, classic Viewmaster. And inside of the box also was sets of Viewmaster reels. Sets of Viewmaster reels. The Cinderella, Snoopy and the Red Baron, and Raggedy Ann and Andy. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that. Look, it sold for $1.57 at Caldors. Caldors.
Several figures from Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are already at Ollie's in abundance. Pretty bad. Uh-oh. Hold on a minute.
And then it's got the Viewmaster
Hey,
mail
retro style
toys. It says Viewmaster order form. And Hank says, did you ever pester the cats with toys? My dogs hate the missile launchers I have for my loose G.I. Joes. Oh, no, I don't mess with the cats like that. I don't mess with them. Tommy says the late 70s John Carter of Mars Marvel comic was good. But this is the mail order catalog so that you can get all the other Viewmaster reels.
Oh, okay.
Look at that checklist. That is nuts. And then on the other side too.
The order form.
Yeah, it's an order form. So you can check off whatever you're missing. Godzilla. It's a bird, Charlie Brown, Mighty Mouse, Mr. Magoo, Peanuts, Popeye, Scooby-Doo. See, I need those.
Yeah, another guy was saying that they should have gave everybody that showed up at Battlestar Galactica for free.
That's what he said.
Yeah, because they had like a box full and nobody really was touching it. David, my local Walmart put out Halloween stuff literally 2.5 weeks after the 4th of July. I about fell out when I saw Halloween stuff in the middle of summer. I don't know why that shocks you, because they do that all the time. And then right after Labor Day, they're gonna start putting up the Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of Christmas stuff going up already. I want to see if that'll work. I can.
Oh God, yeah,
Hey!
it works.
Look at this, folks. I'm going to share the Viewmaster with me. The Cinderella crying. It's a little weird because you can see the reflection of the lens a little bit. And you know, that happens to these Viewmasters over time. They get that color saturation. And so it's not as vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
The mice making a little dress.
And yeah, David, that was from the vintage toy yard sale that we went
Yes.
to today.
I wasn't sure if that would work.
Hey, David. And for y'all that don't know, David Whitehead, he has a channel too.
Yes.
He puts up different contents, going places and stuff like that. So, and he's letting everybody know that he just put up some stuff recently.
Yeah, if you have a channel, you can go ahead and say so.
Yeah, say so that
Sure.
that you have a channel so other people can go and maybe subscribe and watch a couple of your videos and stuff. Don't worry, when it's October, the Christmas stuff will be out in full force. Happens every year. Right after Labor Day, they start putting
Yeah.
up stuff and getting ready. So, you know.
Yeah, they don't waste any freaking time trying to get your money.
Hey, Aaron, how are you? Spirit Halloween stores are all, yeah, but not Spirit Halloween. Because they're like a little pop-up store, they gotta start now, you know. But that's one of them pop-up stores
Yeah.
that come up. Thank you, Stone Sour. We really appreciate it, and we're not getting anything for the cats.
Hey, these. Oh, thank you, Stone Sour. You made a donation to the channel. I'm getting lost here in the
I see
Viewmaster.
that.
This one is clean. The Raggedy Ann and Andy one, no color saturation. Seriously, check this out. I'll share it with everybody. Look at that. That's clear. I know it looks tiny, but yeah, usually they don't look like this. Usually they look all oh, good Lord, hold still.
Look at that wood paneling.
Yeah, well, it's the 60s.
Everybody had wood paneling.
Usually, like I said, where you saw it was kind of red on the other one. Did I knock the camera?
Yeah.
Where, see, look how vibrant that is.
Mhm.
This one survived. A lot of times they don't. They look like the Cinderella one you just saw, where everything is all red and kind of weird. This is the Raggedy Ann and Andy again, and this one worked out really well. That's nice. Let me fix that. There we go.
Halloween stuff should be out all year. I don't know about that. You get worn out.
You get tired of it after a while.
Imagine trying to sell Viewmasters to kids today. They don't want that.
They don't want it. It's
they want a cell phone.
They don't appreciate. They don't appreciate it.
Mm-mm.
They really don't. It's a shame.
No, they wouldn't find any joy or amusement with it.
You know how you get them to find joy and amusement in it is that you don't let them have a cell phone when they're like 2.
Yeah.
You know, you let them experiment and have their imagination. Let me see how the saturation. This is the Peanuts one.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Y'all watching him with this Viewmaster.
This is, well, maybe they want to see the Peanuts. I think the saturation on this one is good too. John McJunket is here.
Hey John, how are y'all? How are you?
Who wants to see the Snoopy?
You don't care. You want them to see the Snoopy.
I'll show them if they'd like to see it.
I'm sure they
Otherwise, maybe I don't want to share my Viewmaster.
Well, anyway, while you make your decision, have y'all seen that they're bringing back Matlock?
Oh,
and
God.
It's a woman, and I'm thinking that it's his daughter, because if you had watched the original Matlock, he had a daughter named I think it was Christine.
Oh my God.
Was his daughter, and she would help him out, and she was on there for like the first season or 2 or whatever. And now they're bringing the show back. I didn't recognize the lady. I don't know if it was her, older, the same actress. But I'm just like, do we really need to bring Matlock back?
No.
Because Andy Griffith really had a presence with that. He really played that character, and it made it fun. It made it interesting. all the side characters was just like whatever, except for like the Private Eye. He was pretty good.
Yeah, he was fun.
But I'm just like, oh God, do we really need to just keep remaking these old shows? I've heard it takes a long time to set those Spirit Halloween stores up.
Probably does.
I understand them getting early, but I've never in my life seen Walmart put Halloween stuff up in July. But I'm not surprised.
Said Hank.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, because you got to set up all the store fixtures first and then bring the merchandise in. So it does take a while.
See how David can't put the
This brings you back.
It does.
It really does. I mean, if you grew up in this era, it's like, holy crap, you know?
That would be good for an eye exam.
Yeah, maybe. And Tommy says, I had one of the show and tell record player slide viewers as a kid.
I don't think I know what that is. A record player slide. Oh, I know what that is. You crank it and then it scrolls across. Okay.
And Hank said, don't bring back Matlock. You can't top Andy Griffith.
Well, CBS is bringing them back.
And Blue Splash said, I saw someone talking about the new woman Matlock. It's just like all the other things that they tried to bring back. They don't need it.
No.
Darren wants to see the Viewmaster.
Hey, Darren.
Hey, Darren wants to see the Viewmaster.
Oh, boy.
I'll show you here. Go ahead. I'll show you here in a minute.
Well, let's catch up with the comments.
And then he says, while at Walmart, the parents were shopping for school supplies with their kids. The kids looked miserable. None in the toy section or even the electronics section for that matter. Yeah, because they've been brainwashed with those devices now. Mannix.
What's Mannix?
John says a reboot or remake of Mannix. It's a detective show.
They probably redo Columbo and then tell us that that's Columbo's daughter.
Woman. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like Columbo didn't have it. Well, they never said that he had kids or not. They just talked about Mrs. Columbo that they never showed.
Yeah, let me see. There we go. Because you see the saturation on this one is pretty good too. It hasn't really faded. There's a little redness, but for the most part, that's pretty clean. That's pretty clean. Of course, that's Snoopy going after the Red Baron on his soft width camel. Is the type of plane World War I flying ace. You see there he is getting shot up. And of course, this is reel 1. Uh-oh, there we go. But there's still some good color on this one. Poor Charlie Brown.
I heard it was going to be the chick from Misery playing the new. I don't know. Like I said, I saw the commercial, and then by the time I looked at it to pay attention, I'm like, what? You know, I just saw.
Just don't want to see it. Just like where they brought back the Equalizer with Queen Latifah, and who can imagine a fat old lady jumping off balconies and blowing up buildings and stuff? Give me a break.
They brought back Highway to Heaven with a female.
With another woman, yeah.
But she's a school principal.
Yeah,
and that kind of takes away from what Highway to Heaven was. They were like they were moving along, you know, going from place to place on assignment. So I guess when you're in school, your assignment can be the students.
Yeah.
But it was fun them going different places and getting different jobs and all of that, you know.
You know what though? You can't do that anymore.
No.
You can't. That era is dead. That lifestyle is dead. That Route 66 lifestyle.
Route 66 was good for that. Yeah, they just drove around the country and stopped, got a job. You know, sometimes they stayed there for months or weeks or a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then they moved on.
You can't do that anymore.
I worked at Walmart for 16 years, and I'd rather put Halloween rather than Christmas.
Said C and Reed. And Tommy said it looked like a little TV with a real record player on top and bought books and records in the little slide strip that you put in the top, and it would show them on the screen.
I don't think I seen
you don't remember that?
Not the one that looked like a TV. I saw the one and it just had like, you know, just like a little screen on there, and then it winds up and it just scrolls along.
And Ghost Jump said, good evening. Been a while since I caught you guys live. Hope you've been doing well.
Yeah, we've been doing good.
And Darren said the Viewmaster looks good. Thanks.
Hey,
and Patrick is here. I have the Give a Show projector. It's untouched. It's unplayed with.
I actually enjoy the Viewmaster
It's just, yeah, that brings
demonstration.
you back though.
Yeah, it
And
does.
Tuck says, why do they rehash characters? Because you answered it yourself. They can't come up with interesting characters.
No,
No, they can't.
because even if they got somebody interesting, they do weird things with them.
Yes.
You know, they starting to get weird with Reacher. I was liking the Reacher show.
The first one was fun.
The first one was really good. The second one wasn't bad, but they brought in too many characters. And it was like, do you really need all these characters?
And then two of them are like these female ninjas that are like kicking the crap out of like 50 bikers in heels.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is my theater in the round. The projector. This is never been used. And I found this in an antique mall. And they had priced it out like stupid cheap. And it's not one of the, I showed this on a live, one of the impromptu like daytime lives a little while ago, a couple of weeks back, because it's the same type of container that the Lincoln Logs are in that I have back there, the old 60s Lincoln Log set. But this is unplayed with condition. Hank says they had a Viewmaster when they were little and played with it all the time, and his sister was born and tore up the Viewmaster reels. Oh no. That's awful.
You probably still remind her of that.
And I'll show you here. John says, I once thought I was having a seizure. My dad told me he bought me a brand new Viewmaster. He actually bought me a Kaleidoscope instead. My eyes or mind were having fits. See, if you look down in there.
Oh, it's still all packed up.
Yep. There's your receipt. There's your bulb, right? There's the reel pack. The Viewmaster right there, and I'll take the insert. You can see it's just a round styrofoam insert, and then setting on another insert further down in there. There's the projector.
Oh, okay.
But you can tell if you look at the lip, because that's just paper glued around a cardboard, glued around a cardboard tube. And the paper, if this was used, usually it's all just shredded away.
Yeah.
It's all just shredded away. But yeah, this is all in here.
I know, nerd, I don't collect that kind of stuff. Etch-a-sketch and things like that. I always wanted, God, and I saw one at the at Value Village, and I started to get it. But it's that colored pen set, and and it has like you put it in this round thing and it makes all these different shapes. I can't think of the name. It starts with an S. I can't think of the name though.
Skididdle?
I don't know. But I always wanted one of those and I never got that, so whatever. Do you collect iconic toys like that? Etch-a-sketch and stuff?
Well, you see me here playing with this Viewmaster. Wow. No, I went ahead and I opened the can because it's not sealed. Okay.
Why you did that?
But this is Cinderella here. This is the same Cinderella we just saw, but it's flawless.
So it was something wrong with the Viewmaster then?
No, it's not the Viewmaster, because you saw the other ones looked good in the Viewmaster, but not the Cinderella because it had that red saturation.
So how come it don't have a red saturation
now? Because this has never been opened.
Oh, that's a different one. Okay, I thought you had put the same
different reel.
One in
it's the same Cinderella. Tommy says, I had Viewmasters too, but most of my toys were secondhand from garage sales, so I played with a lot of stuff before my time in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah. That's what your parents could afford. At least they bought you something.
Yeah, and Hank says, Kaleidoscopes always made my eyes water as a kid when I looked through them. I still thought they were cool. I'll show you this here in a minute if you want to see. Display Name says, if you like classic Columbo, the series Poker Face is good. A new version with Natasha Lyonne.
Poker Face. You know what we're watching?
What's that?
Secret Agent. The guy from The Prisoner.
Yeah,
is a secret agent.
Danger Man.
Danger Man.
Yes, which is the British name.
Yeah, but it came out before The Prisoner, and I don't know if if it's a continuation and he becomes the prisoner.
Yeah,
that's
a
the way
lot of
it
people.
looks.
It's never been confirmed, but a lot of people speculate that he is Danger Man in The Prisoner. Robert says now you can buy the other strips for your Viewmaster. Hey, I'm thinking about it.
Oh my God.
I'll share. Severus says, which toy show do you think has the best mix of modern and vintage? I'll tell you, in our area, well, the Joe Lanta and the
Okay,
toy.
William, we got you.
Oh, okay, Toy Lanta and Joe Lanta we recommend.
Yeah.
Okay, the Joe Fest we recommend, and of course the Retro Toy Swap.
Yeah.
It can really surprise you. Can really surprise you. Nerd says I never saw that. It's cool. Yeah, the projector. You shut the lights off and it projects it on the wall like a movie theater. And Blue Splash said watching Mac and Me the movie and the kids in his room and in a box is a huge Brave Star playset.
We saw Mac and Me. That movie's stupid, but the way that boy fell over that cliff was funny. Hey,
Cheeseburgers and Comics has joined us, and here I'll let you see real quick.
Hold on, I will come back to you, K-Muni.
This one is perfect. Look at the difference. For those of you who were watching earlier and you saw the other reel, look at the colors on that. That is amazing.
Oh yeah, it is in there.
See.
Let me put it on.
And and there's some Mickey Mouse ones in here too. I'll show you. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see if the glasses wasn't blurred out, wasn't got fingerprints all over it. But this ain't the right glasses, no way. That's fine. I can see.
Okay. Well, you can look in here if you want to.
You're looking there right now. Anime is constantly creating new and interesting characters on top of all of the ones they already had. Why don't people just make the... You want everybody to be on that anime bandwagon. You need to meet the guy I work with. He is dying for another anime fan so he can sit and talk about anime all day. And I told him, I'm like, look, dude, I don't read anime. I watch it and I don't know what I'm watching. I look at the thumbnail, I read the synopsis, and then I watch it. I don't really pay attention to the name. He just want to sit there and talk about movie or book after book, movie after movie. And if you got Crunchyroll, oh God, you are his best friend. Hiya, folks.
Oh, Gun Shy is here saying hello. We got a bunch of people just popped in.
Doing today?
We're doing okay. James is here.
Hey, James, how are you?
Says, love the channel. Still have my Viewmaster and discs. Excellent. And Blue Splash says, wow.
Hey, Reston. Yeah, Spirograph. That's it. That's the name. I always wanted that as a kid. And that was one of the ones that I would put on my Christmas wish list. Of course, I never got it.
Metro Sky is here.
Hey, Metro Sky. And I actually saw one
we're falling behind schedule
because you in that darn Viewmaster.
Oh, please.
Anyway.
You're going to blame me.
I actually saw one in Value Village. And I picked it up, I smiled big, and I set it back down and walked away. I don't know why I didn't get it, but I didn't get it. This channel is was inspired from the record books back in the day.
Yeah, See, Read, and Hear records.
Yeah, we used to have those books. I got a couple of them now. Did they make Viewmasters in the late 80s and early 90s?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember having a set, the thing, the Viewmaster in a couple of reels in the 80s.
Yeah, they still made them in the 80s, and they didn't come in an envelope like these. Like these are in an envelope. Mm-hmm. They put them on a card. And the last one that I ever saw made was actually for Harry Potter.
Oh, what? That was in the 90s.
Yeah, the first Harry Potter film. But they had done it purely for nostalgia, I think, not trying to sell them to anybody.
I have a feeling David is now on the hunt for more Viewmasters.
Oh, Trinessa, this one will do it for you.
Oh my God!
This one is going to do it for you.
It ain't going to do it.
It will do it for you. This is it.
Who is that? Richard? Oh, that's Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. See. Oh, now I got you. Winnie the Pooh and Rabbit. That's when he was too fat to get out of the
The
rabbit's hole, and he got
yeah,
stuck.
he
See,
got stuck and they had
and
to pull him out.
there they all are pulling him out. And this is the claymation, and the rabbit gonna ram him there. See.
Tommy says, I always had a good Christmas. I can still remember when I got the Shogun Warriors
Oh yes.
and Masters of the Universe for Christmas. Who is this Saturday morning fan?
All right.
All right.
Ever been to Barker Character Comic and Cartoon Museum? Two
No.
floors of toys and figures from every era, even 40s Popeye.
Wow.
No, I don't think we have.
Where
there.
is that? I mean, what state, city it's in? Because we're in Georgia, and we'll go about 2.5 hours away. My mom put all my Viewmaster reels in an old oatmeal container. I ended up running several reels one time when I tried to make myself some oatmeal for breakfast.
Ruining.
Ruining. Oh. What did I say? Oh, ruining. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think he's making that up.
Only water. I had hand-me-down Viewmaster stuff in the early 80s. It was 70s vintage, I assume. I don't recall what slides I had. I don't remember what slides we had either.
I had one when I was a kid.
But I remember one being around.
The only one I remember having was Peanuts.
You guys are getting more views this week. Keep doing what you're doing.
Nerd. Are we?
Yeah, it looked like that says 60, I believe.
Oh, well, that's great. Keep coming, guys.
I know.
Hang out with us.
Yeah, hang out.
Have
We
a good time.
really appreciate y'all taking the time out of y'all schedule to sit and just chat and watch David look at Viewmasters.
And these aren't even that expensive. I mean, how much are these?
You go on eBay, it might be $50.
No, I doubt it.
But I wonder if Viewmaster ever did. And oh boy, here we go, anime stuff. Speed Racer, Voltron, Gotcha Man, Robotech.
You know, I can look over the list real quick here.
Oh yeah,
remember,
you do.
It's got
but that's not all.
The mail order. No, it's not all, but it's enough that I can.
And
get
that's the American version.
Yeah, well.
Oh, by the way, the Batman cartoon series. Yeah, we are watching it. Oh, and whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, we only seen the first episode so far.
I didn't care for it. But,
I thought it was fine. Hey, Werewolf by Lunchtime. How are you?
Werewolf by Lunchtime. Let me see.
Australia.
Because this list sounds pretty damn good. And I'm thinking I want to look for these Archies.
Oh my God.
The Archies. Come on now. Bullwinkle. What a Fat Albert. Flash Gordon. Godzilla. Godzilla came in. Godzilla's on this list.
That's not anime.
The Peanuts is close enough. It's a kaiju.
Target has retro spiralgraphs.
Classic Tales, Bible stories. The Birth of Jesus is on here. Wonderful Worlds of Disney, Special Subjects. What happened?
The
Elite
cat
Action
doesn't
Joe.
like the family's new puppy.
Oh,
Chaos. Wow. Yeah,
it's a jealousy thing. It's a jealousy thing. And, we go through it too sometimes when there's a new animal brought in. Make sure that every time you pass the cat, you greet it. Because being social is a big deal for them. Like when I come in the house, we got 7 until we can get a couple more adopted. We have 7 indoors.
We need to get rid of 6 of them.
7 indoors.
If y'all want any, let me know and send the address. I'll mail them to you.
7 indoors and 13 outside that we're working with right now. Okay, 20. When I come in, you can already feel it. And everybody I walk by, I put my hand on their head. Hi, Uncle. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Dusty. Just to let them know that I've acknowledged them. Otherwise, they start getting mad at each other because cats can get very jealous. It's crazy. Uncle, too. You go and pet somebody before you pet Uncle. And 25 pounds of cat we're talking. He's a big boy. Will come racing across the room, broadside the cat right in front of him, so that he's under your hand. So yeah.
I had hand-me-down spirograph too, but I never used it. I was too little. Then by the time I wasn't too little, it disappeared from the house.
Flipper is on here. Land of the Lost.
Harry Potter had Viewmaster. Hey, Robert Hillary. What up, people? Can't stay long, not feeling too well. I just ate an entire sheet cake as a TikTok.
No.
Wow.
What's wrong? Well, I hope you get paid well for it.
I know.
Land of the Lost. New Zoo review. I want that. Planet of the Apes. Space 1999. All right. Welcome back, Carter.
I think my parents got me a Viewmaster back in the 80s.
I don't see any anime, but keep in mind that this is a 60s list.
You should find the $6 Million Man in Star Wars. They had one? I'm pretty
of course.
sure
I mean,
did.
it's just like with the record albums, man. They made this stuff for everything.
Elite Action had a Viewmaster. David, that first Viewmaster brought some memories back.
Yeah. That's hey, that's what we're all about here. That's what we're all about here. It's like refreshing those memories. I love it when we can share something, and then it's like a memory unlocked moment for people who are like, holy crap, I remember that, or I had that, or something like that. It makes people feel good.
Thinking about how long the Viewmaster has been around, for also top trumps have been around forever. I think I got jumbled up a little.
Joseph said they had a Viewmaster also, but they had this yellow handheld that you would plug in red film. That's from Fisher Price, and it looked like a gun with a little eye port, right? And you had a cartridge you would put in it, and the cartridge had film in it, and you would turn a hand crank and you'd look in it, and it was like a little 8mm film reel.
That's cool.
That's
Johnny.
what he's talking about.
No, Johnny's going to the Price is Right game show. They're doing a tour. Yeah. He got VIP passes to sit in the front row, and he's gonna get to spin the big wheel. Maybe they'll call your name and you can be on the show. For a surprise, they haven't made a Viewmaster movie.
Oh my god! They made a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie.
You serious?
Yeah. How you do that? With Hugh Jackman.
How they do that?
That movie with Hugh Jackman with the robots was based on the Rock'em Sock'em Robots toy.
I know they made a few Marvel and DC Viewmasters. I had them as a kid.
They made it for everything. And John said, "Oh, he's talking to Chuck."
Okay.
And K-Munin says Gujira, which of course Gujira is the correct name for Godzilla. Might be not be anime, but I appreciate it. Elite Action Joe says good advice. And Jeff said,
Jeff.
I usually just mess with figures while you all are on and just pop in and say hello.
Okay.
This was there. I grabbed this as well because it just was nostalgic to me. It's the question and answer book about space with, R2-D2 and C-3PO answering everything that you ever wanted to know about space if it was like 1978.
I never had any questions about space.
Well, some people did. This was a Scholastic book. This is one of those books that you would get at the book fair at school.
Mm-hmm.
So I grabbed that. And then this the Sesame Street Gold. It is Sesame Street Gold 1977 2-album set. And this is sealed.
Oh, yeah?
It's sealed. It's sealed.
You said that.
You understand
already.
that, right? But I have other Sesame Street albums, and I'm pretty sure I've already got all of these songs on them, so I don't have to open it.
You can put it on the wall.
Maybe. I'm just thrilled that I got one that's sealed. Saturday Morning Fan said, "Surprise America never got Doraemon in the 60s like most of the rest of the world did." Talking about the classic anime. I think the first one I remember ever being here was Speed Racer. And that came out in the US in the early 60s as a Saturday morning show. And I saw reruns of it in the 70s, as well as Gatchaman, what they called it Battle of the Planets here, of course. There he goes. Saturday morning said Battle of the Planets had a Viewmaster, I'm sure.
And Voltron. And G.I. Joe.
Yeah, G.I. Joe. See, now you got me going. Now I gotta get more Viewmasters.
And Mork and Mindy.
Oh no. Well, Mork and Mindy, I don't know if Mork and Mindy's actually not that good of a show, if we're being honest.
Got
but
the
it was
same
still
book
fun.
since it came out.
Uh-huh.
Eric is here.
Eric Peter,
Yeah.
cleaning the collection, put the Looney Tunes on YouTube. I forgot how hilarious the older cartoons are with Bugs Bunny. Do
Mm-hmm.
you have any key items from the Looney Tunes toy wise?
You got that Chatter Chums. That's about
Yeah, the
it.
Chatter Chums over there. I'll turn the
Mm-hmm.
camera real quick here for you guys to see there.
But that's about all you got as far as
No, I
Looney
got some
Tunes.
other. You see the Bugs Bunny and not Donald, Daffy Duck and
Yeah, Pink Panther.
no, that is Donald Duck. I'm saying the wrong thing. Pink Panther's not Looney Tunes.
I know, but
The
you
Tweety
got it.
Bird,
Pink
Tweety
Panther.
Bird rather.
Smurfs.
Smurfs is not Looney Tunes.
No, but you got it.
It was done by Hanna-Barbera actually, and I've got the Dackins. I think they're behind me.
Viewmaster was like a child's grown-up slideshow.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I've got the Dackin like 12 scale figures, mixed media, 5 points of articulation. They came in these bags like this. They were sold in the 1970s, and most Dackins to this day are still fairly cheap. There are some that are surprise you, but most Dackin action figures, and again, these are from the early 70s. They don't cost much.
No,
They're surprisingly underrated while people scramble for new toys, And they did other properties like they did Popeye and things like that. They did Laurel and Hardy,
okay.
Stuff like that. Smokey the Bear. My Smokey's over there in the corner. I love that Smokey the Bear. But yeah, I got a couple of these sitting back there. So, I mean, I have a couple of Looney Tunes things, not a whole heck of a lot.
The SS City Block playset was my absolute favorite toy.
There's good play value in that stuff.
Is
Really
the vinyl actually gold? No.
No.
But it's painted yellow.
It's like gold colored plastic.
What?
Unseal it and play it for us here live.
No,
Johnny.
Nobody trying to do
Trying
that.
to get me in trouble with ScrewTube?
Sea Dog.
Yeah.
Will you give a shout out to my wife?
Mamushka.
Mamushka.
Who's in the kitchen. Hello, Mamushka.
Hey, Mamushka. Oh, God.
Mamushka.
I can't say all
Mamushka.
that because then I'm going to mess it up. People mess up my name, but I'm so used to it. It doesn't bother me
That's
anymore.
why they call you LPH.
Yeah.
See?
But I hope you're in the kitchen cooking up something nice and good. Some biscuits with some butter and syrup. Homemade biscuits with a lot of butter on it and some syrup. And when you eat it hot, it's the best.
You say so. You got to move down a little bit there.
No, I ain't got to move down. Okay, we gave the shout out. I got new and played with every day. Okay.
Those old play sets had a lot of great play value.
Play that Sesame. No, we are not going to do
the musical copyright will kill me. They'll shut me down.
That's
Joseph
great.
said that's great. The album reminds me of the one I have with Grover dressed as Tony from Saturday Night Fever. Yeah,
David has that record.
Sesame Street Fever. I do have the record, and it was actually produced by Andy Gibb, who sang 2 of the songs. Not Andy. Well, no, it was Andy Gibb.
No, it wasn't
Robin.
Andy. It was Robin.
And he sang 2 of the songs on that album. And is that Sesame Street album where Kermit sings Tito Puente? No. Saturday Morning said Cheshire Cat is where the Cartoon and Comic Museum is.
Says Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut. I'm sorry. Cheshire, Connecticut. I thought CT was short for cat. Hank said, I found the Tomart's guide. I said I would send you a while back. I should have it mailed to you by the end of the week.
Okay.
That way you can show a different toy guide. Well, thank you.
That'll be nice.
Thank you. And Joseph said, I feel like these predated Viewmasters, but do you guys remember those keychain side viewers that would contain one family photo? Yeah, and also the little TVs. And I showed that once before. And Zach, I have the Atlanta Cyclorama Viewmaster reels recommended. Okay.
Atlanta Cyclorama.
Because, they did places too. Like they did Disney World and they did other theme parks. And they did famous locations like Mount Rushmore and things like that too.
Oh, the Steve Urkel. Don't you have?
Yeah, I don't have.
You have the
That.
Ernest.
No.
Oh.
They did a lot of that kind of stuff. They did the Home Alone kid.
Yeah.
They did Pee Wee Herman. They did.
You have the Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, I've got Pee Wee Herman, talking Pee Wee Herman.
They did MC Hammer.
Did they? No, they did an MC Hammer doll, but not a talking one.
Oh, not the talking
Not the
one.
talking doll. They did Where's Waldo. They did
What did Waldo say?
I don't remember. They did Harry and the Hendersons talking, pull string. They did Freddy Krueger.
You have that Freddy
I
Krueger
have
one.
talking Freddy Krueger. He works. He does work. And the other TV, you probably remember this. I showed this once before, but you guys probably, big memory flashback was when you used to like go to the gas stations and stuff as a souvenir, and you get stuff like this. They did this, or they did a little camera, right? And it's like memories of my trip, and this is from the Land of Oz theme park. And same deal as like the Viewmaster. You look inside the little hole, and you press the button or the lever. This one is a lever type, and it would flip through just like the Viewmaster, and you could see. And this
Oh
one,
boy.
yeah, why not? Let me see if I can get it there.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
there
that's
they
the
are.
Wizard of Oz.
There it is, the Wizard of Oz theme park. So those are the people in costume at the theme park. See, even the trees have faces.
Wow, they did a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, they did. See the Cowardly Lion there. The Scarecrow wants a brain. Yeah. So do I. Dorothy and her friends in the balloon. The Wicked Witch of the West. Time to meet the wizard. And then back to Dorothy and her friends again. And yeah, these were real popular for a long time. They don't do this anymore. They don't make these anymore.
Nothing anymore. By the way, David, Cheshire Cat was the name of Blink 182's album.
I'll take your word for it.
Does anyone remember the personalized G.I. Joe action figure? No.
You couldn't see his face. He had a helmet on, right? It was a mail order.
So how was it personalized?
Well, because you could pretend it was you. Seriously.
Yeah, not personalized.
Munin says he remembers I showed the Freddy Krueger. Yeah, I did a showcase of the Freddy Krueger and the Pee Wee Hermans. And he's out in the hall. Okay. Actually, Krueger is at hand if anyone wanted to hear it that never heard it before.
Musical bonus after they had a musical bonus after the movie?
I don't remember.
I don't think I ever saw it on DVD or VCR tape or nothing like that. I always saw it on TV. I think that's probably why I didn't know they had one. Okay.
This is the
one of these days you're gonna need to do a live sing-along with Fozzie Bear and the Muppets, a duet of the song I Got You, Babe.
I don't know about that. I also got this at the toy yard sale.
Okay.
Right. It is the Farrah Fawcett jigsaw puzzle, 1977, and of course, the iconic poster that one of the most highest grossing posters of all time as far as sales.
Mm-hmm.
And it is factory sealed. You can see the cellophane on it. This has never been opened. Never been opened. And it's just, there's such a big 70s vibe with this. You know what I mean? Big 70s vibe. So yeah, I had to grab it. I figured, what the hell, why not? Let's see what they're saying.
My coworker is 67 years old and has never seen The Wizard of Oz. Has heard about the witch and the flying monkeys and is too afraid to watch it.
What is your coworker, like 12? And Tuck says the dossier on the back was kind of sort of personalized a bit. I did not get one, and that's what this other person is confirming here. Aaron says it came with a personalized file card.
So you had to send in your information, and then they put it on the file card.
Put your name on it, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Johnny says, I wish I had the Farrah poster. Yeah, if you could get the original one. Johnny would want the original one, I think. But I was
that's probably costs a ton. And if she alive, you can get it signed.
Oh my God. Is she out in the autograph circuit? But yeah, I was like, hell, sure, I'll take it. I will take that. But that's some of the stuff that we picked up there today. Of course, again, the Around the World 1978 Sesame Street.
That's what somebody was actually saying at the show.
Mhm.
That poster was on every kid's wall.
I never had one.
I was born in the 80s, so my first poster was He-Man.
He-Man. I never had that either.
Only posters I had on the wall, I had like the Word Up magazine,
Mhm.
Fresh magazine, those like music magazines, and it would always come with posters.
Yeah.
And I would tear them out and hang them up on the wall. So
Okay.
my wall was like covered in posters.
Yeah, I did that too. I had World Book magazine though,
Mhm.
so it was all like panda bears and crap.
I would glue them on the wall. I didn't know. So I glued them, like
Oh no.
not like on the corners. I glued the whole back, and I would stick it on.
That's great. That's just great.
Oh, my daddy got so mad.
I bet he got mad.
And then when I got older and it was time to take it down, couldn't get it down, and he
Couldn't
made
get
me
it
scrub
off.
all that mess off.
Oh my God.
I've got Mego Farrah Fawcett. Sorry about spelling. And Charlie's
Angels. Those were made by Mattel. Those were like 8-inch dolls.
Oh,
The lead action said my brother had that poster. Robert said,
she
Farrah
died.
died. I don't remember.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't remember. Yeah, Mego made a Farrah Fawcett. The head looks like a big cube. It's terrible. Their dolls were terrible. I can prove it because I've got the Laverne and Shirley dolls, and they're the ugliest dolls you ever saw in your life.
Wow.
Blue Splash said they were playing together, offset Wizard of Oz set, singing and playing together. It was rare footage of the actors offsetting. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that.
Mm-mm.
Raccoon. Oh, Johnny says, y'all know me well. You know I would get that signed. Give it to Lee Majors and tell him to mail it back to me. And Raccoon says, I remember that friend's brother had a Lonnie Anderson poster on his wall. Yeah, Lonnie Anderson was popular back then as well.
Yeah, she did a lot of stuff.
And McNichol says it was on a VHS tape. I had blue color looking.
Mm.
And Hank says I had the Playboy Bunny logo poster on my wall with some NASCAR and movie posters. No Playboy posters though, just the bunny.
Just the bunny.
Just the bunny. And Munin says they only heard of Farrah Fawcett, never knew they made merchandise of her. They also made a necklace. I remember it being advertised on TV in the 70s, and it was just a chain necklace, but it had a faucet, like, a spigot type faucet, like you would see on the bathroom sink.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing would really turn, and that was supposed to represent her somehow because her last name was Fawcett.
I always thought that the ending of The Wizard of Oz coincided with the opening kickoff of an NFL game until I was 12. Thank you, Dad, for that.
Farrah Metro Sky.
Oh, the same day as Michael Jackson.
That's probably why you didn't know.
Yeah, because Michael Jackson overshadowed.
He would have overshadowed her completely.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, I've got the Laverne and Shirley dolls sitting up there. They're hideous. The Mego Laverne and Shirley 2-pack. I don't know if anyone has ever seen them. Well, after the yard sale, we went by an antique mall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I didn't get anything today, y'all. Isn't that surprising?
You got that calendar.
That's all I
got.
Go ahead, show your little horsey.
You see how she treats me? Do you see this? Do I have to put up with? The Marx Mighty Viking Horse, complete with accessories, by Marx. And actually, for a Marx product like this box is not bad for a 1970 produced toy.
Mm-hmm.
The box is not bad, but the horse has no melt marks, still has the wheels, and the interior box is in there. The interior box is in there, and I don't know if dude made a mistake or what the way he priced it, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this. I'm taking this home. I know the Marx has fallen from grace quite a bit in the last few years. People aren't paying as much attention to it as they once did, and they're not as expensive as they once were, but it's really underrated. I think the Marx stuff is fantastic.
What are some other underrated toys you think?
Oh,
I
are
know
you
you just
kidding?
said Marx.
There's so many. I mean, any of the stuff that a lot of stuff from Ideal, a lot of
Mm.
those vintage Ideal dolls that even when I was dealing in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
I was getting more for them then than they'll sell for now. Chatty Cathy and who is it? The Little Miss Moon Maiden and
Mm-hmm.
um, or Little Honey Moon rather, Moon
Okay.
Maiden's daughter, Little Honey Moon, the Pebbles and Bam Bam,
Mm.
all of that stuff used to sell for so much more. The Joey Stivic,
Yeah.
the Archie's grandson doll, used to get more in the 90s than they do now.
So are those figures you just said, are they cheap enough, or you got
The
to pay
Marks,
some money for
I mean, it could still be expensive
them?
uh, by comparison, and there are certain color variants or mold variants that can get up there,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of it's not that much
Mm.
anymore, not as much as it used to be. Johnny said Pamela Anderson made a few posters before she became famous, and those go for high premiums.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday Morning says, remember 80s Return to Oz, those darn wheelers. Yeah, well, that movie freaked a lot of people out.
I saw the movie, and then we went to a play of Return to Oz. Um, it was kind of weird,
Yeah.
but I did see the Return to Oz movie. I didn't know how that had anything to do with Oz. In the play I went to, I couldn't figure that out either.
Return to Oz is probably closer to the actual book than the movie Wizard of Oz, which
Mm-hmm.
is way off from the book.
Um,
If you ever read the series, and there's a lot of them, I think Baum wrote 47
for Wizard of
volumes
Oz.
before he sold the rights, and then the book company wrote like another 8 or 10 after
Mm.
that. And then if you actually go and read the Wizard of Oz, it's drastically different from the film. Like for example, the Scarecrow. When she found the Scarecrow, he was in a pile of dead birds. I have read the book
Mm-hmm.
because what he used to like to do was he would pretend to be a normal scarecrow. And when a crow would land on him, he'd snatch it real quick and snap its neck and throw it on the ground. So he had like 100 dead birds all around him.
Oh,
The Tin Man, before she sent the monkeys, she sent wolves. She had an
mm-hmm.
army of wolves. And the Tin Man said, I'll deal with them because I'm made out of tin. They can't bite me. And he hacked like 80 of them to death with his axe.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
pretty violent book, but you don't they cut all of that out. They cut all of that out. The movie's almost unrecognizable from the book.
Did they ever do Lenny and Squiggly dolls?
Yeah, Squiggy, Lenny and
Squiggy.
Squiggy from Laverne
Mhm.
and Shirley. I'll show them to you.
I had Jacqueline Smith. She had white long sleeve PJs, not as iconic as Farrah, but I liked her. I guess that's one of the girls from Charlie's Angels.
Yes. See, these are the Mego Laverne and Shirley, and they did Lenny and Squiggy, and they were done as 2 packs.
Okay.
So that's the Lenny and Squiggy 2 pack there,
Mm-hmm.
and you recognize that artwork from where is it? Right there. The artwork, of course, if you ever were into Mad Magazine.
See you, see Reed.
Oh, see, and Reed's got to go.
Yeah.
See, they don't look too bad, even
Mm-hmm.
though Squiggy was probably a foot shorter than Lenny, but in
Mm-hmm.
here they're both the same exact height. And the boxes are identical for both of them, except they change the name. And you get
Okay.
the little fake autograph on the back there, and you see they don't look bad. You know, they're
Mm-hmm.
not homely people. See, it says Lenny and Squiggy.
Mm-hmm.
But wait till you see what Mego did to them with the dolls. I would have sued. He
Johnny had those two horses.
did?
Yeah. Very same horse they repurposed for Roy Rogers'
Toy
toy
set. Now
set.
those horses we used for a lot of things with Marx. But there again, there you see the actual actresses.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then there's the dolls.
Yeah, they look kind of weird.
I mean, they made Penny Marshall look like the Wicked Witch of the West there. They look horrible. and the other one's got a gigantic head. They never did female dolls nicely, Mego. They always looked bad. There, that's better. They always look bad.
K Munin thinks that underrated toy discussion would be good.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could almost tie that in with our toys that are cheaper video, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff out there that people don't know about, have forgotten about.
Idea made a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, they did. They made a lot of good stuff.
Okay, we read that.
Certain Ideal products have gone way up, like Evil Knievel.
Yeah.
Evil Knievel is insanely expensive now in the 90s. So you couldn't give it away. Those carded figures you couldn't get $10 a piece for.
There are some space toys that are not Star Wars. They got like Battlestar Galactica, Captain Powers.
There's some right here. There's Battlestar. There's Buck Rogers right
Space
behind
1999. Yeah. You got quite a few out there. You got to look now. When you go to shows, all you see is Star Wars, but it's a lot of other non Star Wars space toys out there.
Yeah.
They're just not as popular because Star Wars takes
Star Wars
over
overshadows it. Even the Fisher Price Adventure people had a space series. But
Darren had the quick draw Johnny West. We actually saw that figure today. We saw 3 Johnny West figures.
Yeah, at the
same
at the antique mall, but he had those priced correctly. This one was wrong. Hank says, I honestly never heard of the Marx company until I found your channel. My older family members never even mentioned that company. It was always Mattel and Hasbro when talking about old toys. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
And Blue Splash, I used to collect some Breyer horses. When my parents used to show horses, we would go in tack and saddle shops, and they would have walls full of Breyer horses and barns and dolls.
And play sets.
Play sets. And then Saturday Morning says, plus the witch died in the middle of the book and it wasn't even the climax.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Because they went to the China, the China doll city, and there was a bunch of other stuff that happened. Hank said, I would love to see a book accurate version of Wizard of Oz on the big screen, make it dark and scary.
Now, they would do that now, but when they did the original one, when in the 30s, 40s?
Yeah,
they wasn't going to do all that. Not
It wasn't popular then anyways. It was popular after the fact.
Yeah.
And that Mego looks better than the new ones.
Yeah.
They are. It just nonstop complaints about modern Mego, about them falling apart, breaking right out of the package. Yeah.
Mego did Diana Ross.
Yeah,
really?
They did Diana Ross.
Hey, Action Joe Fix.
Action Joe.
So if somebody wanted to start a toy collection from scratch, they don't have nothing.
Yeah.
Where should they start?
I don't know.
Oh, hold on. Let's catch up. You think about it while we catch up. And Flying Monkeys became loyal to Dorothy and actually helped her and flew Dorothy across Oz. And oh, wow, that's what happened in the book. Okay. And of course, L&S got a Saturday morning cartoon.
Laverne and Shirley, yes.
Oh, did they?
With their adventures in the National Guard, because they joined the National Guard.
Wow, didn't know they did Lenny and Squiggy. Wow,
in
they had a cartoon.
Style, they made Andy Gibb look like a girl doll. Yeah, Andy Gibb was done.
You have that? No,
I don't have
no,
Andy Gibb. Sonny
and
and Cher. They did Sonny and Cher.
I have the Daisy Duke, and it looks awful. Had 2 heads done for the toy, and one looked really odd.
Yeah, and they didn't have painted features either. And what did Ideal go out of business? Early 80s. Early 80s, I believe.
Had toys. Yeah, Lost in Space had toys. Star Trek toys are space toys too.
There's a ton of it out there.
There's a lot. And love talking vintage toys.
Says Action Joe Figs, of course.
Yeah, that's what we do here.
And Elite Action has 15 marked horses used with G.I. Joe Adventure Team in the wagon. Yeah, and that's something that you see a lot. And I saw a lot of that in the 90s too, is that people who had the classic 60s and 70s G.I. Joes, they wanted Marx horses for them. And they also liked sometimes to use Steve Scout
Okay.
because the scale is the same. So if they wanted to have GI Joe with, like, say, a son or a kid brother,
Mm-hmm.
it's the right scale. And John said the original stories of our childhood fairy tales would have scared you to death if you knew their origination.
Just like the Grimm's fairy tale, Disney redid a lot of the Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah,
Happy Days and Mork and Mindy had cartoons, and Robin. Oh yeah, did he?
voice more. Yeah, and Happy Days, and they were in a time machine. It was ridiculous. Hank says underrated toy company. How about Nylent? Yeah, they worked with Sears. They did a lot of stuff with Sears. They made Tonka style trucks and equipment and other play sets, and they were just as good as Tonka and sometimes a lot cooler.
Never heard
Would
of
we
him.
catch up? Nerd says, didn't Mego do Brooke Shields? I think Mattel made the Brooke Shields. Was it Mattel or
420.
LJN? 420 is here.
Hey, 420.
It was either Mattel or LJN made the Brooke Shields.
But so if you wanted to start from scratch,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have nothing. You're like, oh, I like watching people videos. I want to do some videos. I want to collect some toys and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Where do you start?
Oh, just were you making videos?
No, collecting toys.
Oh, where do you start collecting toys?
Some suggestions.
I would suggest actually not to take anybody's advice. I would say go to a show,
Mm-hmm.
look around, and see what catches your eye,
Yeah.
what sparks you, what feels right to you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to anybody.
That's right.
Don't listen to anybody. I mean, you can inspire people like we did our 70s, 80s, and
Yeah.
90s toys that are
Still
action
cheap.
figures that are cheap, that are still affordable.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some people that looked at that because that we showed a bunch of different stuff, and we didn't
Yeah.
tell you get this, get that. We
Yeah.
just said here's some suggestions, and a lot of people were like, hey, wow, I didn't know they made those,
Yeah.
or
Me
I
too.
remember that. And it inspired some people. Like, it inspired her because
Yeah.
she ended up getting the Shadow set from Kenner.
Yeah.
But I would say, again, go to a toy show that there's going to be some good vintage stuff, like you see at Joe Lanta, Toy Lanta, Joe Fest, in our area,
Mm-hmm.
and just look around and get a feel for it. What catches my eye? What do I like? What inspires me? And is it reasonable? Because certain things can be really ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, just see what sparks your interest.
And don't just start buying up everything.
No.
I did that when I started. Didn't check prices.
Yeah, you gotta be
I
discerning.
didn't check prices. I saw ooh.
Yeah, and then you gotta try to haggle. They kind of expect you to try to haggle.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Some people are hard nosed, but there are several other people. Most dealers, they kind of know. Oh, they got a little wiggle room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's shame that the modern meager figures are turning out like crap.
Yeah, there's nonstop complaints about them. I'm shocked. Action says clearing out one of my storage bins. I found a vintage Mego Sonny and Cher in the
Ooh.
box. Forgot I had them.
Wow.
And Elite says their brother and him did that also. Steve Scout and Jimmy West was like little brothers for Joe. And McNichol says it's wild how modern toys just break right out of the package.
Yeah.
Quality doesn't match the price.
No.
And
we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, because I got stuff that's old as dirt and it's in perfect shape. It works. The all of my Shoguns, all the rockets and missiles still fire. They still launch.
Oh man, my eyelashes. Go ahead.
I've got my Johnny Reb cannon. It still launches the cannonballs. It's from 1961.
Mm-hmm.
And it still works. If I buy something like that now, it'll break after the third time I use it.
Yeah.
Mego action figures. I've got loose GI Joes and loose Mego action figures from the 60s and 70s that they're fine and they've never been repaired or anything. But new ones are breaking out of the package. You take them out and you try to pose them and the knee or the elbow snaps off. It doesn't make sense.
80s kids movies had a dark edge also. Secret of the Nymph, Watership Down, Watcher in the Woods, Goonies, Dragon's Lair Labyrinth.
Uh-huh.
But by then, they started putting darker, more violent things on TV.
Yeah.
In the 30s and 40s, they weren't putting stuff that violent
You
on
couldn't even have a
TV.
criminal get over in a movie.
No.
Crime could never pay. And Nerdy says, yeah, LJN was Brooke
Hmm.
Shields. Johnny said Steven Spielberg would need to be the director for Wizard of Oz close to the book. I want to see Tin Man go ballistic on wolves. Yeah. And Saturday Morning said Super 7, some can break still in the box. Really?
Yeah.
I've been hearing they've had QC issues.
Yeah. And they started out so well. I mean, I had got Triclops. Something was wrong with the head. They said everybody a replacement head
Replacement head. That's
because
right.
something, I can't remember what, but everybody that bought one when they were still doing the Masters of the Universe figures, something was wrong with the
That's
head.
right.
They issued out a new head for everybody. They had problems with, I think, one of the Thundercats figures they were supposed to ship. They stopped it from being shipped so that they could fix the problem. Now they just seem like
Doesn't
they
seem
don't
like it
care.
matters, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then and it's, I don't understand it because you order something and it still takes more than a year before you get it. So it's like, okay, you had like more than a year. You could have fixed all problems.
Yeah.
You ain't making that many pieces because you kind of make the order. Plus, I know you make a couple of extra to put in stores or whatever, but still. I think you start with the franchises you like the most.
Yeah. And Metro says
Collect what you like.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And Saturday Morning says we have the Wicked movie out in a few months based on Oz.
Really?
Loosely, it's based on the play.
Oh yeah, because
I
Wicked
don't
was a
think-
play in the.
I think it's an adaptation from the original storylines. I don't think it has anything to do with the actual storylines.
Yeah, that's the Grimm fairy tales was Cinderella, Hansel and Gretel, Pinocchio, and all of
Yeah.
that. They're not for the faint of heart.
I mean, I've read the original Peter Pan. He's a murdering bastard. It's crazy. And Tuck says he dug out a box of Transformers from 2002 he may sell.
Mm.
Okay. And Retro Style says they made the mistake at first buying loose figures and found myself buying the weapons and paid way too much, so I try to find the complete.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've talked about it a bunch of times. It took me forever to find a Terror Drone because I did not want to I don't want to piece it out. Because you could find an incomplete one, and every time I'd ask, "Oh, is it complete?" Yeah. Oh, but it's missing this, or it's complete, but it doesn't have the figure or the jet. It's not complete then. Or yeah, it's complete. Oh, but this is 3D printed. It's not complete. One that was loose, I didn't mind it being loose because I wanted to display it. Loose, complete with all the components, because piecing it out would be a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll end up paying 3 times the value of the toy. Moondust likes my beard.
Yeah, so they look like cotton balls.
Yeah, she likes the beard. That's why I have it. Because she was like, "What would it look like if you grew it out?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'll grow it if you want me to." And then I grew it out, and now she likes it. So I guess I'm stuck with it.
Some of my newer Transformers broke, but the 80 robots, GoBots, are still not broken decades later.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get the zombie Buck Rogers?
No, I don't. Mine is clean as a whistle. I have the Buck. I have the he's talking about they're actually 12.5 inches. They're not 12-inch, the Mego Deluxe ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the Deluxe Buck Rogers and the black hole figures, and they are not gray. Because that's really common with the 12-inch anything Mego, is that the plastic interacts with sunlight and it turns gray and it gets this sticky film on it.
Yeah. Vintage toys still work because they took pride in craftsmanship back then.
Yes.
Some of these figures you have to go through in case
worth before you find a decent looking one.
Yeah, I know what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to McNichol and All Music Fan.
Hey, All Music Fan. Hi,
All
y'all.
Music there. And he says, I like too much, that's the problem.
Yeah,
us too.
Yeah.
Us too. But yeah, our tastes are all over the place.
I am thinking about starting a collection of Cabbage. Good idea.
If you
like Cabbage Patch Kids, I didn't get into Cabbage Patch Kids as a kid, so I could care less about them. But if that's what you like and you got the money for them and you don't have to borrow,
Cabbage Patch
get what
Kids
you
are
want.
not as expensive as they used to be.
Yeah, when they
They're not.
first came out, they were ultra
So you can
expensive.
probably find most of them in the box cheap.
Yeah, we see them in the box all the time.
Yeah.
And they are very, very
And they
cheap.
also made action figures, 3-inch action
Mm.
figures in little boxes.
And
So
in Georgia,
if
they
you're
got the
interested.
Cabbage Patch Hospital
Yes.
where they're born. I keep saying we're going there. We just
Mhm.
need to go and film. But it's like the hospital where they're born, and you
Yeah.
can go to, the nursing unit and look at them and see their birth certificate and all this stuff. But I heard it was pretty nice. So I want to go check it out.
An action that says, really appreciate your channel. I love talking vintage toys, comics, and collectible.
Yeah,
Well, thank you. I mean,
that's what
obviously,
we like to do.
that's what we like to do, and we don't mind sharing it with all of you. Are you going to be Moses for Halloween? The Charlton Heston Moses?
His beard is not as long and curly. Charlton Heston beard was all curly and flowy.
It was like, I know. And then I can carry around stone tablets and I can throw them at people for disobeying the law. Because if you will not live by the law, then
wow.
you shall die by the law.
I have the box Mego Buck Rogers and wind up Tweaky.
Tweaky.
Yeah,
the wind
the
up
faces.
Tweaky.
You don't have that? Oh yeah, it's sitting right there, huh?
Yeah, mine are autographed.
Oh yeah, you had took it one year and got
they are
autographed.
signed. They are
because
signed.
they were both there at the show.
Yes, they were, and that was just before Felix Silva died. Who was Tweaky, of course, amongst other things. He was in a lot of different shows, played a lot of different characters.
Yeah, they're not. They used to. They would show them on the news. And
Joseph
stuff.
talking about Cabbage Patch doll frenzy in the early '80s.
They would fight over. It was Cabbage Patch, Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh, God.
It was a couple of things, but I know those two were the biggest ones. But it was a few others.
They went nuts over one year too.
What?
Is when Power Rangers first came to the United States.
Power Rangers was a big one.
And it was the dolls, because they did action figures. They did the standard action figures, which on the East Coast you could only find them in CVS for a while. But then when they did the dolls, the deluxe dolls of the pink and yellow Ranger, yeah, there was a mess. It was a mess because it was right around the holiday season.
If you don't buy Cabbage Patch, you could always buy Garbage Pail Kids. If you want Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, and Action said they had those at Six Flags in the late 70s. Okay. And Hank says, I can totally see David saying, Pharaoh, let my people... Will you still not let my people go?
I'm jealous. Why are you jealous?
Who are you jealous of, nerd?
I don't know.
Raccoon says the Cabbage Patch story is kind of sad. The idea was stolen. The creator was in litigation for years. I think it finally settled.
Oh, wow.
You hear about stuff like that.
People stealing your ideas.
Stole my idea. And David says was looking to get back to Studio 86 Grimlock. Couldn't believe how expensive that Transformer is. And Saturday Morning said Turbo Man.
If you had knew what you know now, you would have had your mama and daddy buy you two figures and you would have played with one and put the other one up.
When I was a kid, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying that for everybody. If we had all knew back then what we know now about these figures, we would have had our parents buy two, and we would have played with one and put the other one up.
Yeah,
you'd be rich.
See, there's my Buck Rogers. He's not a zombie. He's pretty clean. His skin looks really good, and there's Gil Gerard's signature. And that B/ means Buck Rogers, I guess. Buck Rogers, Gil Gerard, that he signed on there.
I heard the red plastic dip for tools helps fix the zombie Buck Rogers and Chips.
Trying to clean it off?
Yeah, Mego fix your faces.
And then there's the walking Tweaky. And then that is
his
Silva's signature. Felix Silva, and it says as Tweaky, of course.
My old little brother had that on the wall. I remember people going nuts over the original Buzz Lightyear. Really? In the holiday Barbie?
I don't remember Buzz Lightyear. being a big deal, but I
Remember
can
all
see
the
that.
rage for the Beanie Babies was a big deal, and Pound Puppies.
Beanie Babies was stupid.
Why? They had the Pound Puppies cartoon, not a Beanie Babies. They had the Pound Puppy
Uh-huh.
cartoon, and I never watched the cartoon, but I remember it being a big
That was on
deal.
ABC,
Yeah,
the Pound Puppy
I
cartoon.
remember that being a big deal, and it was expensive. They had certain ones, of course, that were expensive. Now they sell it in Joann's. David, was there ever a Starship Trooper toy line? I remember watching the movie as a
Yes.
kid, but never saw
I
a
don't remember
toy.
who made them, but yeah, Starship Troopers has been done in action figure form. And Saturday Morning said
Yeah,
Jingle All the Way, Arnold movie. Oh, that's right. Turbo Man was based
yeah,
on the Cabbage and Elmo Craze. That's right. Yeah,
yeah,
that was the premise of the film. Nobody could find a Turbo Man.
yeah. And him and Sinbad
That's right.
found one and were fighting over it.
That's right.
Yeah, they were making fun of that whole frenzy there. Heard that too. The red plastic. What's plasti dip?
Um, it's a solvent for cleaning off tools, right?
I don't know.
I'm trying to
That's why I
remember.
asked.
Nerd says they have a Buck Rogers Tweaky inflatable that connects to a remote controlled base.
Really?
That sounds like something Radio Shack made. And Saturday Morning
Really?
said He-Man craze was huge and Turtles. And Hank says, yeah, the Buzz Lightyear and the Woody both were a big deal when they came out. Now that nobody cares now.
Mm-mm.
And Farrah died in 2009. We're all the way back to that.
We talked about that like an hour ago.
And Axel says, damn, Buck Rogers had a figurine. Didn't know that. One of my favorite series alongside Battlestar Galactica. Well, they're both right behind me.
That's not a figurine, it's an action
Figure.
figure.
See, there's the Mattel Battlestar Galactica action figures. That's actually the whole first wave right here. And then this is the whole most of the Buck Rogers action figures by Mego that are right behind me. But Mego also made them in a deluxe series based on the film. They're all based on the film, not the TV show. All the action figures for Buck Rogers. And Mattel made 2 waves of the Battlestar Galactica. And the second wave is hard to find because they canceled the toy line, which also subsequently caused the show to be canceled because that kid choked on the rocket and there was a big lawsuit.
I thought the kid choked on the Boba Fett rocket.
No, Boba Fett's rocket firing mechanism was canceled and the missile was fixed in his back instead of having a spring because Kenner didn't want to have to deal with the same crap that Mattel was going through.
Beanie Babies were popular at one time. Was annoying actually. Couldn't wait for it to end. He says. Starship Troopers had a kids cartoon also based on the gory R-rated movie. I don't
remember a cartoon.
The cartoon.
Not a kids cartoon.
Battlefield Earth, wasn't that the one with John Travolta? And it's deemed like the worst movie ever. One of the worst movie ever. Wasn't that Battlefield Earth?
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can say, yeah. David says that all the time. Funko is a modern day Beanie
Funko
Baby.
collectors don't like hearing that. They get upset when you say that.
I don't get upset. I collect Funko Pops. I don't get upset with that because I buy because I like, not because I'm hoping that the price will go up in the future.
My retirement fund.
No,
I will sell these bad boys. Like that guy with every one of them. He's got like 13,000 of them. Remember, all different, but he can't see them.
No,
because he's got them all sideways on the wall.
But then they're like 4 deep.
4 deep.
They're more than that.
They were like 20 deep. It was crazy. That's what he said. He was like, that goes all the way back. It was like, I just keep stacking forward. So the whole room is full.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'd hate to see him in a house fire.
Oh, God.
And Action says he's got the Miguel, Sonny, and Cher in the box. They made a lot of outfits for that, too. Okay. Johnny's got to go to work.
We'll catch the replay. See you, Johnny.
Mm-hmm. And Nerd is a fan of Battlestar.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica. We saw that, and it was good. I could deal with that. Is a rubberized plastic coating that comes in a bunch of colors.
Yeah.
So you need the red one to get that stuff off.
the idea is to try to peel it off.
Okay, and it's not gonna hurt
and
the
take it.
plastic,
Hopefully, it'll pull the film off, but it won't completely remove the discoloration.
and it won't hurt the plastic.
I, can you hurt it any more than it's already hurting?
I mean, like burn it or something like that. It
I
might
don't
have some
think
kind of
so.
crazy reaction. Yeah, David got some V dolls. He gonna show it.
LJN made that.
LJN made it.
Yeah. See, this
Good
is
night, Brandon. Thank you again. We really enjoyed the stuff
okay.
you sent.
And that's the V from LJN based on the original miniseries. And in the miniseries, you might remember they played with action figures,
Mm-hmm.
but those were only released in Argentina. They were not released in the United States, but there were actual like 3 3/4 inch style action figures and some other stuff. But again, only in Argentina. They're a fortune.
Mm.
And this mask is actually based on a character from the show. That is Martin, the collaborator. If you remember Martin from the show that helped the resistance.
The toy craze, I was around for the $6 million man and the beginning of the Star Wars craze.
That's cool. The $6 million man's classic. That's a classic toy.
I got all Mattel BSG ships, box and complete figures set. Not carded, but I do have carded Cylon. Okay.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, John Travolta played in Battlefield Earth.
Okay.
And that's deemed as one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah.
That and that one with Eddie Murphy.
Pluto Nash. Pluto
Yeah.
Nash. The battle, because Mattel also made 2 deluxe figures that were 12-inch of a Cylon warrior and a Colonial warrior, but they basically rehashed. They both got the same body,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same exact body from Captain Laser from like the 1968 Major Matt Mason line.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, because all the Major Matt Masons were like these little 6-inch bendy figures, and then you got Captain Laser. He's like 12 inches tall, and he's plastic and jointed. And it's like, how are these together? Doesn't make any sense. And Saturday says its wife Ultron lost most of his missiles when it came to America also.
Yeah, because of that firing mechanism.
That lawsuit. William says he has 2 female cats, indoor and fixed. One of them sees or smells another cat outside. Both my cats are fighting with each other. I don't understand it. They don't fight with me. Yeah, I get that too, because we get some cats that get into a conflict, and I can get between them and stop them. Sometimes if they sense the other, when a cat gets riled up, which is why they tell you not to mess with them when they're fighting, they can't differentiate targets. So if you have 2 cats that are tearing and you go in there to try to break them up, they'll attack you because they don't know what's going on. It's just, for some reason, they click into reptile brain and they go nuts. So that's probably why they get upset at each other.
Yes, Battlefield Earth has John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker. I never seen it, but I always see it when they talk about the worst movies ever.
Yeah.
Starship Trooper had a CGI cartoon during the CGI craze in it.
I remember that.
The thousands.
I remember that. And then Saturday said Starship Troopers had a cartoon. It's on DVD. Rambo, RoboCop, Police Academy. Yeah.
House Party had a... Yeah, I do remember that.
Because the kid who Kid from Kid Play, and Kid was supposed to be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was supposed to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but he got upset because they canceled his Saturday morning cartoon, and he tried to have a staring contest with the producers about it, and blinked. And they said, we can get any nitwit rapper to be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they went on and they chose Will Smith. And it was really, really a foolish move, because he wanted to see a second season of the cartoon. He was like, you guys told me there would be a second season. And they're like, well, there isn't going to be one. So what do you want to do? And you're like, I won't do the show if you don't do it. And so they were like, okay, bye. And he lost the contract completely because they don't give a damn.
Yeah.
They figured any moron can play that character because it was really a kind of a dumb show.
Yeah, and the Will Smith, he played
terrible
Will.
acting.
Yeah.
But
It was a dumb character.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if you were, it was foolish. One, because you tried to push the producers and you
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any leverage, and two, because almost all Saturday morning cartoons are one-hit wonders,
Yeah.
one season wonders.
And then
Very infrequently, rarely is there more than one season.
and that helped Will Smith boost his career, his
Got him
acting
away from
career.
rapping.
Yeah. And I mean, Kid and Play did House Party,
Yeah,
and
House Party
Kid,
too.
yeah, Kid was in the Temptations movie, but that's all.
Yeah,
They didn't do any. I don't think he really did anything else.
yeah,
So at least if he had just said, "Okay, whatever, I'll do the TV show," it might help promote my acting career.
yeah. No, he got a big head.
Yeah.
Aaron says there's more bootlegs of e-toys than licensed ones. I think that's with most toys. And Nerd has two of the V figures.
Oh, is another one? What's the other one?
I think he has two of the same one.
Oh.
Because I don't think they made another one, LJN. Hank says he's surprised Independence Day toys don't command a high value and aren't more popular, considering it was such a huge movie in '96. Yeah, another underrated figure, and they are cheap, and they came with a disc. There's a 3 3/4 inch floppy disk in those packages that you can play a computer game with them.
I didn't know they did a toy line for Independence Day.
Yeah, they did. 90s.
Yeah, that scene was kind of weird.
Oh, wait.
She ate that.
They had the fake rubber head, and it was a guinea pig.
Was it? I thought it was like a rat.
Because he picked up. Well, I think the one guy ate a smaller one, but Diana ate a guinea pig. So they had the fake mouth stretch open, and just put the guinea pig in.
Always yellow, yeah,
or cracked.
Yeah.
Joseph says they've been looking for a clean one for a while, and Moon wants to know if they ever came out with anything related to the TV series Alien Nation or the movie version. Didn't they make Alien Nation figures?
It seemed like I've seen those figures before at shows.
Because they had a movie and a TV show.
We watched the TV show.
Alien Nation? You didn't watch Alien Nation? No.
We didn't see Alien Nation?
No, with all the bald aliens that are allergic to salt water?
Oh. No, you know what I'm thinking about? Earth Final Conflict.
No.
That's what I was thinking about. I didn't see Alien. I swear I saw Alien Nation. I did. Yeah, whatever. I think I've seen those toys though in some shows.
I'm not sure that they ever did really any merchandising for Alien Nation.
Love the way the tongue comes out of that V
alien. Yeah.
Yeah, and Joseph was saying yours look kind of clean. I'm looking at my trio still on Transformers. Yeah. So far, at least 3 look intact with all their little plastic spring-launched missiles.
And Austin found Homer Simpson's plushie in the wild at Target that was made by Jax. And Major Matt Mason. That's right. They copied the body mold. And Eric says he's got to run. Oh well, glad you could join us.
Yeah.
And Moon says, do you remember a store called Gemco? You had to buy a membership card to get in. Gemco, the name sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever saw one.
Really screwed up with playtime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's a shame about the missile firing. Yeah, he choked, and I think he died. And it's like, I'm not trying to be mean, but the kids do dumb things. He put that thing. No, who thinks I'll just shoot this in my mouth?
What did he think was going to happen?
I know. What do you think was going to happen? It launched it in your mouth, and you inhaled it, and you got it, and it killed him. And it's a shame. But kids do dumb stuff. Can you really blame the toy company for that? I don't know.
They growl and hiss at each other, but I'm always able to approach them, and they allow me to pat them and try to calm them down.
And the fighting can last a couple days. Ugh. Saturday morning said Kid and Play had a Marvel comic.
Yeah.
Also, that's right.
I've seen
Star Comics,
them,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the comics.
Foxy Brown. Blaxploitation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What with Pat? No, Pam
Yeah.
Grier, right? Yeah, Pamela Grier.
And Munin says, for some reason, a lot of classmates in high school look fondly on of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air show. Yeah, and I watched it when I was a kid
I
too.
watched it.
But trying to go back and watch it now, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty bad.
Yeah,
But when you're younger, you know, your discernment is different.
yeah. Do you remember the '90s Lost in Space movie toys?
Yeah, that movie was drastically different, as was the remake show from the 2000s. Yeah,
Didn't NECA make the Alien Nation?
I'm not sure.
I
I don't think
swear I've
so.
seen those figures before.
Yeah, they get drunk off sour milk and they eat raw meat. Yeah.
Who on Alien Nation?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking while we were on the subject of underrated toys, because we talked about the Marx, and Marx has fallen off. Darren says it was a Furby's craze in the 90s. That's correct. And the Tamagotchis also. It's little keychains, and it had like a little pet inside, like a dog or cat. And you used to have to press buttons to feed it, water it, put it to bed, you know, whatever, play with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't, then if you weren't careful, it would die. The little electronic pet would die.
Oh god.
Yeah, the Japanese weren't fooling around because that came from Japan.
Mm.
This is the Johnny Hero. The Johnny Hero. Hold on a second. Let me check that. And I'll tell you again, just like with the Marx, an underrated toy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was from the 60s, like 1966, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it was made by a company called Roscoe. And this is the Olympic Hero. And there's a couple of versions. There's one that is wearing a tracksuit, and one that is wearing like a t-shirt and shorts. Okay. And this, you know, it's not sealed. This is probably one of the cleanest ones you'll ever see. That's Johnny Hero. He's tall. He's like 13 inches.
Oh wow.
So he can tell Ken to take a hike and like be Barbie's new beau.
Mm.
But he is a bendy. He's a huge bendy figure. See, boing. And with these huge meaty paws for hands.
He's got big hands.
His hands are like he's got man hands.
Yeah.
He's got man hands, and he's got a peg in the palm of his hand, so he can hold things, because there's baseball bats, there's baseballs, footballs, things like this. And see how clean he is?
Mm-hmm.
Even his torso, and I'll show you, it's still clean. It's not all cracked and split and everything. And you could buy professional sport team outfits on the card of national, NFL and baseball uniforms. Like if you wanted him to be in the Red Sox, if you wanted him to be in the New York
Mets,
Yankees,
yeah,
or whatever, then you could dress him up in classic football or baseball uniforms. And where a lot of people made mistakes with it, though, is you had to put the uniforms are baggy because it's made to go over this. This outfit is not supposed to come off. And you often see these naked, and if you ever got this outfit off, you weren't getting it back on again because he's a huge bendy figure. And again, another highly underrated toy. Even in this condition, it's not worth a whole hell of a lot. I think even the price of because you can still find carded outfits, I think even the price of those have gone way down. And this is one of the earliest examples of action figures you're going to find, because the action figure concept really jumped off, and the phrase was coined by Hasbro in 1964 with the America's Movable Fighting Man G.I. Joe line. They had stuff prior that Whitman had Crazy Ikes, which you have a couple of Crazy Ikes, and they're kind of weird sort of action figures that they were making as early as the late 50s. And of course, Ideal in the 30s made wooden action figures of Superman, Popeye, and Pinocchio. And those are some of the earliest possible examples. But action figures was Hasbro. And after Hasbro, other companies tried it, like Roscoe tried with Johnny Hero, and then you had like American Character tried it with Bonanza. They made 3 Bonanza action figures. Was it 3? They made I'm trying to remember if it was 3 or 4 off the top of my head. They made Bonanza. It didn't work out. This didn't work out. Nothing really worked out until Major Matt Mason was popular, and the Colorforms Aliens. But that's another one. If you wanted a vintage action figure you didn't want to spend a fortune on, Johnny Hero is a good option, as was the Dr. Doolittle. Dr. Doolittle is another really inexpensive example, which I've shown this a couple times.
Right.
And this is Mattel, and they just took Barbie's little brother and popped his head off and replaced it with Rex Harrison's head from Dr. Doolittle. And you can find them sealed brand new like this. They didn't sell. You can find them sealed like this cheap. You know, and this is again, 1967, I think it was, that these came out. The one with the push me pull you is expensive, but just this is cheap. And I think we talked about that. I showed this one when we did our 70s one, because a 60s action figure one is tough to do, because there really wasn't much for 60s action figures, and most of it's going to be expensive, like the American Character Bonanza, and like the Major Mac Mason. That stuff can get up there. G.I. Joe obviously can be expensive, but you know, there are other alternatives that are inexpensive from the 60s, but it's very few and far between.
Didn't they use the Mattel Starbuck figure for the Mork and Mindy with his egg ship?
Not exactly. I mean, the torso might be the same. It might be the same basic torso, but the head mold is clearly different. And I'll show you Starbuck next to Mork. Okay, there's the Mork and the egg ship. There's Starbuck, and I know he's dressed, so you can't really see, but the body I think is the same, but not the head mold. And you know, they just repainted it, and of course the Starbuck has some soft goods. I love the artwork on these though. They made a real effort. Remember back when they used to make a real effort with the artwork on packaging so that it would have good eye appeal in the store?
Don't forget, I Am Legend 2 is coming. It's got to be better than the first, which was almost as bad as Battlefield Earth. I never saw I Am Legend. 90s had a dino craze after Jurassic Park, and 80s had the Ninja toy craze also.
Well, keep in mind also, I Am Legend is a remake film.
Oh, is it?
That's right. It's a remake of a film that's also a remake. That's a third installment, basically, because it's a remake of the Omega Man with Charlton Heston, which is a remake of The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price.
I saw The Last Man on Earth. Last Man on Earth.
Yes.
And I think I saw Omega Man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a third time's a charm remake, and it wasn't that charming.
Tamagotchi is still a thing.
They still carry some. Yeah, they came back a couple years ago. Moon says great fad. I think they meant was the Pet Rock. That's right, 75. They came in a cardboard carrying box with a straw bedding for the rock. I remember those. And Paul says,
hey, Paul.
When I had spring-loaded figures, I had to leave the missiles out because the springs would get weak and fire all by themselves. So now I leave all the missiles completely out.
Masculine doll.
Yep.
Yeah, with them big hands.
Well, we must be way behind.
Yeah.
And Tuck says, remember when they banned three-wheelers? A kid in my town was part of the reason for that.
What?
Got one for his birthday, rode it too hard, and broke his neck.
That's the big wheel? Is what he's talking about? Because that was a three-wheeler.
Yeah. And Saturday Morning said that they make Gunsmoke action figures.
No,
No,
because I'll get Gunsmoke.
no. And Robert says, was Dr. Doolittle black? I thought it was Eddie Murphy. The original
That was.
Dr. Doolittle film in 1967 starred Rex Harrison, and it was a musical.
Mm-hmm.
And it was entertaining. It was really entertaining.
Yeah, because they redid it with Eddie Murphy and Robert Downey Jr.
Uh-huh. And the Slip and Slide too. They're up to our eyeballs in lawsuits with Slip and Slide.
We just used a piece of plastic and ran
Well,
the
the problem
thing on it.
was that you'd buy the Slip and Slide, and somebody was on it that shouldn't have been,
Mm-hmm.
and they would still sue because they'd have like, okay, and this is primarily the problem. I remember watching a documentary on Whammo, and what would happen is, okay, Slip and Slide is made for little Johnny and little Susie as long as they're under like 90 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you'd have Dad come along and he weighs 350 and he wants to use it,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'd slide and he hit a bump in the ground and then twist his neck, and now he's a quadriplegic.
Mm-hmm.
And that was happening all the time. Apparently,
Mm.
they were up to their eyeballs in lawsuits from adults or really, really fat kids who were way over the weight limit that was on the box. And even though they didn't follow the instructions, Whammo was still taking a hit in court.
In the cartoon, Mark had an Eggmobile he drove around. I never saw the cartoon. I didn't know they did a cartoon.
I barely
for that.
remember that stuff because it's way back.
Of
And Munin
Robotech.
says, why does the Mork figure remind me of Robotech? The red outfit makes him look like Rick Hunter. Oh no. And Joseph says he loves how David can pull an example off the shelf for almost every question. Pretty eclectic collection. Well, thanks. And Nerd says he has both the figures carded. Yours are better, although I still love mine. Well,
That's all that matters.
that's all that matters.
Long as you got it, because you got 50 other people out there that don't have it.
And Saturday Morning says, of course, it's based on a book as
Oh,
well.
Mega Man?
Yeah.
Mm.
And Tuck says, I really don't go to theaters anymore. Last time was for Gemini Man or whatever with Will Smith. I didn't see it.
Mm-mm. I remember the
didn't see
name of the movie, but I didn't see it. They're bringing the Batman back to theaters for one day on the 28th. So if you didn't get to see it
Yeah.
and experience it the first time in theaters, it's coming back for one day only.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to, I guess, add something to the end. They're going to do like, and I don't know if it's a trailer of the Penguin, because they did a Penguin TV show, but they're going to put something on the end about the Penguin. So
Mobster Penguin.
yeah, I like that version of the Penguin. He looked more realistic. I mean,
Yeah.
I know the other ones look like the comic book version, but like I said about the Batman movie, I liked it because it was more realistic than all the others that were out. All the others, they were fanciful,
Yeah.
and all of that. They were cartoonish or comic bookish, but the last one that came out, the Batman, it was more realistic, and that's what really got me with the movie. David, another underrated toy is the soldiers of the world. The Soldiers of the World 12-inch figures. They were just as good as GI Joes. You remember that? Oh, ATC's off-road trikes. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
You mean are they in a blue box? the Soldiers of the World, are they in a blue box? And Retro says, remember when they sold the green rock in a box and called it Superman's kryptonite?
Oh no.
That kind of sounds familiar, actually.
The Dr. Doolittle doll.
Not that I'm aware of.
It might be if you look it up on eBay.
Not that I'm aware of. And Nerd says, I've seen the Mork egg as a radio.
That's
seen correct.
that.
And Mattel also made that. Mattel made the Mork radio. And
Wet banana toy ads had adults using them. Really?
Really?
I remember the Slip and Slide, not the wet banana.
Uh-huh. And Tuck says that they made a Slip and Slide in high school. It was a bad idea.
We made it just a piece of plastic. We took a sheet of plastic, put it on the ground, and then took the sprinkler and just wet it down and slid on it. That's what
Robert wants to know if Pluto Nash had a figure. Not that I'm aware of.
They're not going to do... I don't know. Does Eddie Murphy have a figure other than the Funko figures? I know Funko did
I don't know if he ever did anything
Coming to America, and
yeah.
the one where he was the banker, not the banker, the
Hmm.
broker, the stockbroker, trading spaces,
Trading places.
places, places. I don't know if he had an action figure though.
No, I'm not aware.
Okay, I read that one.
Yeah, and Saturday mornings telling us that the '60s Doolittle had a cartoon also. Saturday mornings,
That one
Saturday morning
sounds
cartoon.
familiar.
Yeah, and Tuck says theater popcorn sucks since the 2000s. That's half the reason that they went. Oh, and there's Gilgamesh.
Hey Gilgamesh, how you doing?
Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh just joining us here as we're muddling through and doing some showcasing, and of
And some
course
show and
we
tell.
went to the yard sale today, and that video is up. That all vintage toy yard sale, and Donkey from Shrek had a toy.
Yeah.
Didn't they
Shrek
do
had
action
toy.
figures for
Yeah, for
Shrek?
Shrek. Yeah.
Oh, I get, because Eddie Murphy was Donkey,
Oh
but it
yeah,
doesn't
that
look
don't
like
count.
Eddie. It doesn't look like Eddie Murphy though.
Yeah, that don't really count. Talking about facial likeness.
Oh my god! But yeah, as far as I know, he didn't have an action figure. I don't know every action figure though. I mean, I could be wrong. I know a lot about a lot of things, but I don't know everything.
Maybe he won't allow it.
That could be like Tom Cruise. There are no official action figures with Tom Cruise's actual likeness because he won't permit it.
Mm.
There are
Bootleg.
companies have done it
Mm-hmm.
anyways,
Yeah, because they don't
but
care.
he's one of the people that doesn't like it. Liam Neeson's not too keen on that either.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a fan of having his likeness done either. But I don't know. I think I'd be kind of flattered. You know, it's like, oh, we want to do an action figure. I don't know why anybody would do an action figure of me specifically, but I mean, they did it for Pixel Dan. He got an
Yeah.
action figure. It's
Yeah.
a bendy, but it's an action
Still.
figure. Hey, and he can sign it.
You're
And
talking. He
fly
didn't
down.
fly.
His kids did, because he
Messed around with
with
the
a dragon,
dragon.
and they had little flying donkey kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because cartoon, because you can do that. The cartoon, you can get away with a lot. It doesn't translate well in live action, which is why certain properties should never try to do a live action version of a film. Gilgamesh wants an action figure of him. There are companies that will do it.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but there are companies that will do a custom one for you specifically. Tuck wants to know if I remember Crystar. I've heard Crystar and I've heard Crystar. I'm not sure which one is right. I usually say Crystar.
Mm-hmm.
He forgot about it until last year. I think that was LJN too, wasn't it, Crystar? And they had the translucent dragons and carded figures.
Mm-hmm.
Those are expensive now, except for the wizard. For some reason, nobody likes the wizard, and you can still get it for under $100. But the other ones are expensive. And with the Crystar figures, you have to watch out for the packages turning yellow too.
Well, a lot of these figures, if you don't have the proper lighting,
certain companies are more so than others, and LJN's one of them. The Crystar and the
Mattel, because if you get the Masters of the Universe,
yeah, some of them are bad.
Especially the vehicles that had the window at the top, and it kind of came over. They always were brittle. So you touch it and it just breaks apart, or it turns yellow. But it was always brittle. But the carded figures is like they used a thicker plastic on for the window on the card. But when it came to the vehicles, they used like the thinnest thing they could find, and it was ultra brittle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of mine got cracks. The vehicles got cracks in them.
And what is it? Dune, the Dune figures.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think it's a miracle if you can even find a Dune figure that you can still see in the blister.
Yeah.
Munin says, weird about Liam Neeson considering all the Qui-Gon Jinn figures of the past 20 plus years. I've heard that about him, that he doesn't like it, and that's why Hot Toys has had a tough time negotiating with him for certain figures. But also, keep in mind, you're talking about Star Wars and Kenner, and now Hasbro. Nobody got any money from those.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the same deal with Phantom Menace, but from the original Star Wars line, I don't think they got a dime. I think in their contract, all that money went to Kenner and and George Lucas.
How you can? I don't know. NECA had a hard time getting Ninja Turtle movie Tatsu
Likeness,
likeness.
and they eventually got it.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, if you throw enough money, sooner or later,
Yeah, somebody will
somebody
take it.
might take it. And Saturday Morning said Sylvester Stallone almost got Rocky G.I. Joe.
Oh, that would have
He
been
did
cool.
show up in the Marvel G.I. Joe comic at least. Yeah, and that's why they had Big Boa, because Big Boa was supposed to be his antigen in
Mm,
G.I. Joe. The of course Rocky Balboa,
yeah.
but he
Oh,
could, the licensing wasn't going to work out.
you said Rocky. I was thinking about Rambo.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool crossover, Rambo and GI Joe.
Coleco already had the rights, and he didn't. He did not want Coleco to make Rambo toys or a cartoon, and
But they did
they were like, yeah, but you don't own
the rights.
the rights. You don't own the rights to it. He didn't at the time anyway. There was some kind of legal problem, but he didn't want them to do it, and they did anyway. Gilgamesh,
Marvel. Oh, go ahead.
Gilgamesh said Marvel made a new Crystar figure in the Legends line. That's right, they did. And Hank says, I don't know why, but I always thought the dragon being romantically interested in a donkey was weird. What was that even about? Well, remember, it wasn't a kid's movie. None of those movies are really for kids.
We saw a really strange movie today called Predestination. I can't tell you a lot about it because some like me, I don't care about Hey Legends.
Legends has joined us.
I don't care a lot about spoilers, but for you that don't like spoilers, I mean the whole movie was plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. Like the first plot twist was very obvious. It was like, okay, that's obvious. Then it keeps going, and you're like, huh? How did that happen? How did this happen? And then by the time you got to the end, you're just like, okay, I'm done. Y'all did too much
give
with
up.
this.
This doesn't make any damn sense anymore.
Crystar is a Marvel comic character. But yeah, the movie is Predestination with Ethan Hawke, and it's on Amazon Prime. If you're curious to watch it, I don't want to give it away because you might want to see it.
You don't want to see it.
It wasn't bad.
It didn't make any damn sense.
I understood the premise when I read about it, but then when you watched it, it was like, this ain't really what y'all said it was gonna be, you know. I don't know. You gotta watch it. The horn skull Danzig used in their logo was from cover art of an issue of the Crystar comic. Never knew there was a comic. My brother had Crystar and his dragons.
There's some great artwork on some of those. Some of those, actually. Gilgamesh says if any of them end up in a Marvel movie, they'll have figures. And Paul says,
hey, Paul,
do you have the 2 fighter ships from the Buck Rogers line? And if not, would you buy them if the price was right? No, I don't have any vehicles from the Buck Rogers. I don't
but
have
if he saw it and the price was $10, he would get it. The original.
And Saturday Morning said G.I. Joe did get the Street Hawk in the 80s.
The Street Hawk, that's a vehicle.
Street Hawk.
Street Hawk was a TV show. About the motorcycle.
And Tuck says G.I. Joe had a few weird crossovers. Of course, Sergeant Slaughter and Ben the Refrigerator Perry. Yeah. The Fridge, who never appeared in anything. They just made the figure. Yeah. Sergeant Slaughter did appear and did his own voice work in the cartoon.
Really? Shrek is based on a book?
Based on a book. And Legend says, forgot about that relationship between Donkey and the Dragon.
In 2001, I was scratching my head. Yeah.
And Joseph says, is that the Ethan Hawke movie?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy
It
twist.
Is. Yeah, that's the Ethan Hawke movie. And it had you flipping. Talking about making Rambo toys for kids makes me miss the good old days.
Yeah, and they're tough to find
Rambo
in decent condition. They're big cards.
RoboCop Rambo had a crossover?
Would have been awesome.
Would have been.
Is what he said.
No,
RoboCop Terminator. They did that in the comics. They did that. Dark Horse Comics did that. And Gilgamesh says he saw the new Deadpool movie, probably the best Marvel anything they've done in a while, but y'all probably wouldn't like it because of all the cussing and perversion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard mixed on it too. I've heard some people say it was good, and I've heard some people say it was terrible. So, you know, and it's a matter of taste. And David says he watched Sinister. That was one of the creepiest horror movies ever seen.
Sinister. I never heard of that one.
I'm not sure if I remember that.
Has a crossover with X-Men.
And Faza fan
loved That's
the
soccer.
Rambo toy line. Toys of the real world weapons were nice. One of my last before I temporarily aged out of toys. Yeah, I have a handful of Rambo figures, but yeah, they can be tough to find in decent shape on the card.
Yeah, it was about what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Neither, apparently.
Well, it was the rooster.
The rooster.
That's the answer.
I guess. Yeah. Huh.
Street Hawk was an 80s show. Yeah. But it was a with the bike. I remember watching that. Street Hawk, Airwolf, and then you had Knight Rider. So it was all of those, and then the one with the Corvette, Stingray. So you had like a lot of different vehicles on at one time, and they all did like super stuff. Well, Stingray wasn't about the vehicle.
Hardcastle and McCormick.
That wasn't about a vehicle, though.
Yeah, they had that car, and they had an action figure set with the car that's like stupid expensive now.
Really?
Yeah.
Chrysler is also the name of an anime game on PlayStation that's real good, but has nothing to do with the comic character.
And then Saturday said they did make a Knight Rider versus Airwolf comic a few years ago.
Versus Airwolf. They're still together, Duncan.
Oh, are they?
Rambo Guns had the lawsuit right heading to the
leading to the orange on all toy guns. I'm not sure if it was Rambo, but I remember that because they said that you could like commit the argument was you could commit a robbery with those guns and people would mistake it for being a real one. So they want to put orange tips on all the guns. And I'm like, okay, that's really brilliant. So now instead of going into a robbery with a fake gun and you can't hurt anybody if anything happens, they're going to have to get a real one. That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Congress. And Nerd's still talking about Sinister.
Yeah, it's the guy finds old films of a killing in the loft. Coyote. That's the name of the car.
Hardcastle and McCormick, Tuck says, okay. And Saturday said Blue Thunder was another with a high-tech chopper. Yeah. And it was a movie first.
Yeah, we saw the movie.
That's an expensive toy set too. The chopper.
They had a toy set.
The chopper with the pilot with the figure. That's expensive.
It was a 2-part movie. I didn't know they did a TV show out of it because you could tell that they were setting up the movie for a show, like it was the pilot. You know, sometimes the pilots are like 2 hours long.
It was a fun movie.
It was actually pretty good. NECA did some figures of RoboCop versus Terminator. I've got a couple.
It's Saturday's corrected himself there.
Why is the difference?
Because sometimes people call a motorcycle a chopper. And Axel says the chicken was first. Like other animals, God made them in pairs.
Then the hen and the rooster. Then came the offspring. Not in this movie.
You don't know what's going on in this movie.
You see this movie, you're going to get a whole new take on
Gilgamesh
all that.
says if you see a red tip, you want it painted black. Yeah.
He said orange tip, painted black.
Orange tip. I say a red tip. Painted black.
You see a red door.
And that's ridiculous because you're coming from an era from way back when cap guns were huge in the 50s. The cap gun era goes from the 40s. They made them prior to that, but really mainstream as a toy from the 40s all the way through to the late 70s. And some realistic looking guns. I mean, like, you know, revolvers where the cylinder pops open and you put toy bullets in it and everything. And they're worried about a black plastic gun that people might have used in a fake robbery.
Nerd got a box RoboCop
Kenner,
helmet
helmet
and
and
gun,
gun.
and then Moon does just telling us that Farrah
Are
Fawcett
you
died
still
in
on that?
2000. We talked about that like an hour and a half ago.
Oh, did you? Farrah Fawcett, everybody.
You
Farrah
know what
Fawcett.
we're watching right now? We're watching the Wonder Years. That's actually a good show.
Yeah, I'm wondering how it's going to hold up because it's good writing,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm like, because after a while, a show can get tired, and
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
can
I
get
wonder if
worn out.
by the time you get to the last season, if you're going to be like, ugh, but who knows? But so far, the writing's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if the Blue Thunder toys scale with the G.I. Joe's Dragonfly.
It might because I think the figure is a 3 3/4 inch standard size, 1/18 scale.
No, we never saw that. Master
Yes, you
Ninja. Oh
have.
yeah, we seen that.
Yeah, it says it was an '80s TV show. I saw a couple episodes recently on Science Theater. That's Lee Van Cleef as a fat ninja there. Lee Van Cleef, who was in a lot of westerns, he
Uh-huh.
was missing the tip of a finger.
Okay.
You don't know what I'm talking
No.
about.
I love cap guns, and so does my young nephews. I have some of those old revolver cap guns, says
Yep.
Gilgamesh, from when I was a kid. Parts of them are actual metal. They're good quality.
Yeah, and some of the earlier ones are all metal, like this one. This is all metal, except for the white part of the handle. This is all die cast, and this is the Spirit of '76 Bicentennial Edition pistol cap. I got it upside down.
Oh.
Still on the card by Roth American. Roth American, and this that's an Osco drugstore price tag. How much was that? $1.76. Spirit of '76. Anyone? They don't do stuff like this anymore.
No.
This is just amazing. And I used to have a big collection of vintage cap guns. I don't anymore. It's part of the collection that I lost.
Oh boy.
And it is what it is. I mean, I don't have it anymore. I still got this one. And it's unpunched. Oh, wrong way. It's unpunched. See the circle where the punch is supposed to be?
Yeah.
This was never hung on the peg.
Legend is telling us an hour and a half later that Farrah Fawcett died 24 hours after
Later,
Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson overshadowed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier when he showed his little Farrah Fawcett puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking about that and how her and Michael Jackson died on the same day. I would give anything to travel back in time to the glory days to play with toys that would be outlawed today.
Yeah, you can't have a little kid running around with this nowadays.
Hey, Zom. Black Christmas. Yes, Black Christmas was good. The killer would laugh with dead women all in his penthouse. No, that's not Black Christmas. No. Black Christmas was when they were in college and the girls were in the sorority house and a guy was killing them off one by one.
And hiding the bodies in there.
Yeah, hiding the bodies in the house. And they actually had a dead body in the attic all that time and nobody knew it. But they were killing off the girls. That's the Black Christmas. I know it came out in the 70s. I don't remember a penthouse.
Okay.
But I mean, it might be another one. You know how they do these movies.
And Retro says the Wonder Years is great until the kids get older and it gets awkward.
Yeah, because they're going to grow up all the way until I think they graduate high school.
And nerds looking for the Lone Star Luger cap gun they had when they were a kid.
Mm.
You might find it. You might find it sometime. And do we have Lone Ranger toys or dolls? No. I used to have a set of the Gabriel, but I don't have them anymore. Maniac, Raccoon is correcting about the movie.
Oh, Maniac. I think he means Maniac. Yeah, it's right. Creepy. That movie was creepy. We saw what's the name of that show?
What did we say?
It's on YouTube. Those two guys from Pennsylvania that I like watching. They put the movies out once a month. They haven't put out any Night Castle.
No.
Newcastle After Dark. They haven't put out anything in a while, but they said they have a hard time putting it's in the attic, not the penthouse. Yeah, he hid the bodies. He hid those bodies all over the place. but they never found the girl in the attic, which I couldn't understand why the police didn't search the house.
Yeah, you think they'd search the house.
No,
no,
we're just
no.
gonna get this girl out of here and bye.
Oh my God.
Looked it up. Entertech
And
guns.
Entertech guns led to the gun orange top roll. Okay. And Moon says, great Christmas horror movie is a film called Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I've heard of it. I don't think I ever saw it because when in the 80s and 90s, I loved horror movies and I used to watch a ton. That one I remember, but I don't know if I saw it.
And William says he has the Stallion 45, but he broke the spring. Shame on you.
Can you replace it?
I'm not sure. I'm sure you could do some repair on it if you knew what you were doing. And Robert says, I wonder if eBay sells cap guns online.
No.
Yes.
Oh, they do?
But there's wonky rules. They say that you can't sell it unless an orange tip has been permanently affixed to the vintage cap gun, basically ruining it.
How do they know if it's permanent?
They don't, which is why most dealers will do something to fool the algorithm by putting like the cap of a marker or something in the tip and taking a picture of it, so you know that they'll take it out and sell it to you.
Yeah.
Also, it can only be sold in the continental U.S.
Yeah.
It cannot leave the country.
Yeah, and Olivia Hussey was in that movie. She was the main actress, Olivia Hussey.
And Nerd says, yeah, they sell cap guns. They just got wonky rules about it.
I've heard Gremlin is a Christmas movie.
Because it happens over Christmas.
And so is Die Hard.
People
try to consider because
it happens Christmas on time. Christmas.
Yeah.
Legend says, I know this is a toy channel. However, a friend has a question on cat behavior. His cat is 4 and likes to jump the curtains. Any advice to break the habit?
No, because I was doing
climbing.
They climb all up the curtains.
I don't think that's what he means.
Oh.
You mean he's climbing the curtains or doing something weird to the curtains? There are certain smells that they don't like that you can use, like the smell of alcohol that you can spray on there, or the smell of peppermint they don't like, and you can spray on there, and it might cause them to back away from it if they approach it. If they approach it, and they're like, they'll sneeze and they'll back up.
I thought only dogs did that.
No, but also, I know they have sprays that are supposed to keep pets away that they sell. They don't work. I'll just tell you right now, whatever spray that's supposed to do anything cat or dog related that they sell you online is a hoax. It's snake oil. Jumping and dragging down the curtain. Okay, yeah.
Or they climb up the curtain.
Yeah, they're climbing the curtain. Thank you for clarification. Because
David went way
I knew somebody who had a dog that did that.
Dog.
That's why I'm saying. So I just want to make sure, because that's not normally a cat behavior, but you never know. Yeah, spraying just regular isopropyl rubbing alcohol, or spraying peppermint oil.
Yeah, our kittens would do that, but then they would stop after, I guess they grew out of it.
Yeah, they got bored.
But yeah, they would run and just climb up and down the curtain, up and down the curtains. It's like, man, stop all that. You're tearing it up. It got holes in it now. Yeah. Stupid kids.
And Nerd saw Gremlins in the cinema.
I never seen Gremlins.
And Tuck says they had an Entertech. Parents got sick of buying batteries.
Yeah, aren't they making a new Gremlin movie?
I hope not.
Can Tuna get them off the curtains? Tuna? That's going to get them on the curtains.
And Nerd was 15 in the UK.
Okay.
When he saw it.
Thank you.
I hope it helps, Legend.
Yeah.
Hope that helps. Also, they don't like things that are sticky. So if you take tape and you turn it sticky side out, and you loop it around so it's attached to itself, if they try to climb up there and they touch something sticky, after a couple of times they'll get pissed off and they won't do it. Gilgamesh lets the cats have one chair they can ruin by getting onto them whenever they mess with anything else. They realize I was fine with them having the one, and now they leave everything else alone. Sooner or later you'll have some like bare wooden pegs standing there. Raccoon wants to squirt him with a water gun. You can do that, but watch out for their ears.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to get you got to watch out for getting the water in their ears.
Why aren't you in the new? Because I'm at work.
Yeah, I'm back before her, so
Yeah.
I'm here before she is, and so I do the noontime videos.
Is there a movie you wish you had toys? Me wanted the
Oh, the
Crawl
Krull. Oh,
Throwing Star.
that blade from Krull. That's right. I'm not
Any
sure.
movie? No.
I'm not
I want a
sure.
Columbo action figure and Gunsmoke. But I know those are TV shows and you said
Yes.
movies, but movies I can't think of any, but I would like to have a
Hmm.
Columbo action figure and uh, um Gunsmoke with Marshall Dillon with the whole crew, Marshall Dillon, Doc, Chester, and Kitty, Miss
You really
Kitty.
want Kitty? I
I
don't think
will
you
get
don't like Kitty.
she gets on my nerve, but she is useful at times. She is useful. She's not as annoying
Oh
as
no.
most female characters. She's not
Okay.
as annoying.
William said, "What about eating couches or carpet?" He has a cat that does that. Same thing. You know, certain odors that repel them. And Robert says, "You work like me noontime. I usually catch glimpses." Yeah, she's
Yeah,
at work.
I'm at work. Sometimes if I'm able to, I'll log in and say hello. But I'm usually busy doing
Yeah,
something.
and that's a cell phone thing. Like I've got a thing that I can attach my cell phone to, so I can have my hands free, and I can stand there and walk around and talk instead of being static like this.
Hmm.
I can I can walk around and show things and talk about things.
Short Circuit didn't have a toy. It wasn't Short Circuit that robot.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought I had seen that robot before though.
I'd like to see them do the magical Burger King crew from the '80s, because you know how they always had the McDonald's mascots.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've got the Remco McDonald's figures. Uh, the I thought it was a Glade. Aaron says the crawl weapon was called the
Clover.
Glauber. I thought it was called a glaive,
Mm-hmm.
but they also Burger King tried to emulate that completely. So they had the Burger King and they had a weird villain and they had a French fry man and
Oh, really?
they did a whole complete opposite copycat crew
Mm-hmm.
of the McDonald's characters in the early part of the '80s. And so since I have the McDonald Land characters, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, Gilgamesh. We actually talked about that earlier. I saw the commercial when I
Yeah,
was
it's like
visiting my mom, and I'm
please.
like, "Are you kidding me?" So I'm wondering if she's supposed to be his daughter, because if you remember in the original Matlock,
Hmm.
his daughter, I think her name was Christine, had helped him out on cases the first season, maybe the first two seasons or something like that. And then she left and he had got this other lady and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I'm just like, oh God, do we really need that?
Yeah. Axel says, I'm surprised the primary line of figures and vehicles for Thunderbirds was headed by Carlton in 2000. Vivid imaginations, none before that. Uh, Matchbox made Thunderbirds and
Mm.
um oh, what was the other one? They did Thunderbirds and they did oh, what was that other one? Not well, but anyway, Matchbox did Thunderbirds in I think 1995.
No.
Stingray.
Oh, Stingray.
They did Thunderbirds and they did Stingray in 1995 action figures and vehicles. They're 1/18th scale.
Mm.
They're little ones like this, carded figures,
No real Short Circuit toys,
bootlegs.
only bootlegs. A remote control Johnny 5 would be neat.
And Zom says the Burger King mascots were kind of creepy. The one guy always reminded me of the child catcher and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah, that's right. The villain looked like the child catcher. He had the big, long, weird nose and stuff. And he was dressed all like thespian. Nerd says he's been trying to catch the other videos, but I'm in the UK where it's now 2:30 a.m. and where we are, it's 9:30.
Yeah, you can watch it on the playback, but I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
it's on
you
the
won't
playback.
be able to comment,
Yeah,
and we can't interact.
and I always do try to do the courtesy of reading through at least some of the comments. On the
Yeah.
phone, it's hard because the comment, like here, we have the thing and it's cascading, and we can just see the list. It's on the
Mm-hmm.
side, but on the phone, it flashes and it goes away. It's up for like a second and it pops out, and so I see that a comment popped up, and I'm like, okay, hold on a second, because there's a thing I have to touch to have it come up, and I have to
Mm-hmm.
hold it.
Oh.
And when I take my finger away, it'll disappear again.
Oh, that sucks. Dairy Queen in the 80s had a Ronald copy, but also, but it didn't last
Yeah,
long. Have a kid's book
of
of
them
them.
says Saturday morning. Denny's made Bendy's figures of their mascots that
Really,
were
Denny's had a mascot?
children's meal prizes. Yeah, and I think it was the 80s.
It was Mac and Me.
Mac and
They
Me.
never did toys of
Mac
Mac
and
and
Me
Me.
don't need toys.
Mac and
Robert
Me was
says, I wish they made
stupid.
action figures of Manimal and Automan. Did they? Yeah.
But they did Manimal. They did
Hold on a
Manimal.
minute. Not Manimal.
Oh, Automan they did because David has the Automan.
Yeah.
This Burger King near me where I live was shut down because of flies present and other health code violations last year.
Automan.
You remember Starman? That was a TV
Yeah.
show
I remember
about
Starman.
the guy from space, and he had that little ball that'll glow and do magic tricks. And he had a kid.
William says, where does bootleg come from? A bootleg is making, because people confuse them. I'm not sure exactly where the term comes from, but a bootleg is technically when it's a completely unauthorized production. A knockoff is when you've copied something that's already been done.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of people call knockoffs bootlegs, like Mexican bootlegs. Oh, Mexican bootleg masters of the universe. No, they're actually technically knockoffs, but they're just called bootlegs. Nerd says, thank you. I do like to watch live if possible. And Brian says the link I posted was for the article.
Did you post it on Facebook? Because I know I don't see nothing here. So you must be did it on Facebook.
And Gilgamesh said, didn't Shoney's have something for their mascots?
Yeah, they had
a bear. They did, yeah.
They had a bear.
But this is the Automan figure. It's the only Automan figure you're ever going to see. Saturday said Manimal did have action figures. Did it? I don't remember.
No, okay.
And
no, that's legit.
This is the real thing. This is official. This is an official toy. It was made by Alchemist Toys, and it was made in conjunction with 20th Century Fox. And they were running this figure off, and as you see on the back, they were actually going to make 4 figures, a Halloween costume,
that's what that
a
is?
watch, and a car for Automan, right? But the show got canceled. They didn't finish the season, so the company did not make any of the other figures, and they dumped these. These actually ended up in dollar stores in the UK in the 80s.
No, Shoney's had Big Boy was a hamburger shop.
Bob's Big Boy?
Yeah, Bob's Big Boy. Shoney's had the Shoney's bear. And sometime at the Shoney's the bear would come at the because we had Shoney's and we used to go there all the time because on I think Tuesday or Wednesday, kids under 12 ate free. So we went there a lot.
This is very tough to find, by the way.
Is it?
On the card? Yeah, these are real hard to find.
You remember Manimal? That's a comic book.
Yeah, but Manimal was he could turn into animals. It was I don't know if that got out of pilot either. I think there's only they only aired like less than a dozen episodes, didn't they? I don't remember.
The movie was fine, however, the reboot, the robot was creepy, especially in the sequel. Desi Arnaz Jr. loved that show back then.
And then David says he's been watching The Love Boat. Oh
Oh
my
God, I don't
God.
think I can do the Love Boat.
Well, you could probably get a kick out of just the nostalgia of seeing how many guest stars are on there.
When my dad was here, we watched the Love Boat a couple of times, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, I can't take this. And that little girl on there, and it's like, who was she? She was the daughter of somebody. And I was just like, this is too much. I couldn't do it. Had to hit, had a hit theme song, still got canceled mid season. What, Automan had a hit song?
I don't remember.
Manimal. There's one Shoney's in the very bottom of Ohio. They shut them. They shut the majority of Shoney's down. They were big, but just like the majority of restaurants, they got shut down.
Saturday says Manimal had real figures. I don't remember Manimal figures.
No bootlegs. Manimals did not have bootlegs.
Yeah, I don't remember Manimal having figures.
And Love Boat had a ton of guest stars.
Yeah, they did every week. All kinds of people. Every B-lister you could think of was on the Love Boat.
The Barge, I think. The Barge also did the theme song for Who's Johnny? Yeah, Johnny 5 for the movie. Who's Johnny? He said.
Oh yeah.
It was for that movie.
Is that stupid movie with Mannequin?
What's Johnny?
Oh no, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
You're thinking
something
about
else.
Starship.
Okay.
I know the one you're doing. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And it had the mannequin.
Okay.
And the mannequin came to life and all of that.
William said Russ on Junkman channel loves the Love Boat.
Mm.
Yeah, Migo made the figures for those in 1980.
Zom never heard of Shoney's because you up there in Canada. It probably didn't reach that far, but they had them here. Well, I know in South Carolina they did. Certain parts of Georgia, near the southern part of Georgia.
Robert wants to know how can you not love the Love Boat?
Because it's dumb.
It was a goofy show.
Shoney's are gone. Yeah.
It was. That's the type of show it was meant to be that way. It was meant to be that way.
No Shoney's in Florida.
Patrick says the Golden Girls acted like little kids. That show's insufferable. I cannot watch that show.
No.
The writing is so bad. I'm sorry. I know somebody probably likes it. The writing is terrible on that show.
We watched it when we were working at the center because it was one girl. She loved
the Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls. So I was like, okay, we'll watch it. I couldn't take it. I think we watched about 2-3 episodes. But growing up, we used to watch it all the time.
And you didn't.
I didn't know how when you're dumb younger, that show was.
When you're younger, you don't have the same discernment.
Because I mean, you see everything coming, and you're like, why are you making a big deal about this? This is not an issue.
It's not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny. It was just like, it was stupid. Shoney's was a chain of restaurants and inns.
And of course, that's right. He did the song for Last Dragon, which is a cool movie. That's a fun movie.
You Are the Last Dragon?
That
wasn't The Barge. But I mean, it was a couple of songs in there, though.
Yeah. I don't have Love Boat or MASH. I used to have the whole set of MASH. I don't have them anymore.
Okay, K Munin.
Okay. I don't think I ever had the Love Boat. But the carded figures are not that expensive. The play set is very expensive.
They had a space movie with the guy from the Waltons.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. There was one with David Hasselhoff too, right? Yeah. Yeah, Chuck says no way to control it. It's up to the Automan.
I know that song. No, I thought that said Automatic.
I don't know.
I'm thinking about another song, I think. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
And Legend says Short Circuit have Fisher Stevens playing character that would not fly today. I don't remember that movie that well.
Can't watch most sitcoms. Nope. Because when you try to go back and watch it, you realize how stupid it is. And I was concerned about that with the Wonder Years because I remember watching the Wonder
Yeah.
Years growing up and liking the Wonder Years. But I was a kid then. And then, I told David I bought the box set and he's like, I don't know. And then we watched it. We watched the
I
first
said, okay,
episode.
that's not
And
bad.
I'm like, okay. And then now we were like, what, on episode 3? Because that one, for some reason, well, ain't no, for some reason, we watch only one episode a week. I thought it was an hour show. It's only 30 minutes. But we watching one show instead of 2. And I'm like, okay, this ain't bad. This is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But again, maybe once we get to season 4 and 5, it might
Get
go
weird.
down here. But
And
for
you
right now,
see
it's
that
good.
there's shows you watched when you were a kid, and you go back and watch them, and it's like, okay, this is still fun. I can still watch this. And then there's other shows that you watched as a kid. You go back and watch it, and you're like, God, this is awful.
Yeah.
This is so badly done.
Yeah.
Or this agenda in here I didn't realize. And
Yeah.
when I was a kid, it went over my head, and now I just don't like the premise.
Yeah. I mean, with
Yeah.
TV dramas and sitcoms. And we try it out. We're like, oh yeah, I remember this. So we're watching like, okay, this holds up. And we'll do the same with cartoons. You're like, okay, is this cartoon going to be crazy? Because like we're watching the Care Bears cartoon. That's not
It's kind
bad.
of funny.
Rainbow Bright is hilarious.
Yeah, Rainbow Bright is surprisingly entertaining.
Yeah.
It really is.
So, but some of them you're like, nah, I can't do this.
I can't do it. Yeah, and the Golden Girls was one of them.
Yeah.
And there's I hear that from a lot of people too that talk about this. For example, Friends, and they go back and try to watch it, and they're like, I used to like this, or Sex in the City, and they're like, this is actually pretty bad writing. I'm shocked.
It posted a link to see the Manimal action figures. Okay. They are cheesy. You can look at it later. Okay, you posted it on the Facebook.
Maybe it'll spark my remembrance because I don't recall them.
My mom loves a lot. Love Boat.
I used to stomach the Love Boat to see Fantasy Island, which is also not that great. But I was a kid.
Yeah, we used to watch Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Magnum P.I. Because my grandmother, man, that woman watched a lot of TV. That's all she did.
Sure.
Was watch TV
a lot of people
all day long.
People are still like that.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much she did until I started thinking about the shows that I watched. And I watched it because she watched it. And you only had one TV. And she controlled what was watched.
That's how it works. And you were the remote control.
Yeah.
Don't change the channel.
Yeah. My grandma loved the Golden Girls. She did too. Mine did. She made me sit and watch it. I didn't like it then.
Yeah.
Rhythm of the Night is from.
Okay.
Oh, that was from. Okay.
Saturday Morning
know that.
Says.
I know that song, but I didn't realize it was in The Last Dragon.
Mm-hmm. And Tuck says the ship using the Love Boat
remember
and
that
the reboot have been scrapped.
When they were in the club.
Princess Cruise Lines, right? Princess Cruise Lines.
Oh, that's what Love Boat was about?
I think. And David says he usually flips the channel to Gunsmoke.
Yeah. That's all my dad wanted.
20 seasons.
We got all 20 of them
seasons.
too. Yep, we got all 20.
Zom says we have MeTV in the U.S. He wishes he had it. I haven't seen MeTV.
We don't have it because we don't have over-the-air TV.
And William wants to know if we have Superboy. No.
Mm-mm.
We do not have Superboys. And Robert said 7 years for Wonder Years. It must have been okay. You don't know, because sometimes, man, they force those shows to drag out and they're just not good. They just can't uphold it anymore.
Yeah, they redid the Wonder Years with a black family.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know how that did, if it's still on or what. But the original one so far is good. MeTV has a 24 cartoon
GoBots
channel.
and Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Go Speed Racer, go. And Patrick said Happy Days became the Silly Days. That's right, because it outlived its usefulness, and they kept going, and it got weird. Then they were given these bizarre spin-offs, like Takes an Angel, where it had an actual angel who was an angel on Happy Days when the devil tried to steal Chachi's soul. Yeah. Mork is a spin-off. Because he landed and had an alien battle with Fonzie. it was getting real weird.
No, I didn't see a link in the post. I mean,
Was it posted in the chat?
yeah, he said
YouTube might have kicked it out.
Yeah, it probably did because we don't see anything.
You can put it on the Facebook channel.
Yeah, you go to the Facebook Open by Chance on Facebook
and post it there,
and then everybody can see it and go to it.
Yeah.
What? Now Seinfeld is good. We went back and watched.
Seinfeld's okay.
We went back and watched Seinfeld, and that's funny.
The way the Seinfeld premise works is that none of them are likable characters, honestly, but they fail, and that's what makes it entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Keeping Up Appearances. Mrs. Bucket is insufferable, but she fails at everything she tries to accomplish, and that's what makes it interesting.
I didn't like Doogie Howser. I never liked Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser could never have happened.
No.
In real life, there's no way.
The theme song to Friends is an indication to viewers.
Early indication to viewers of its awfulness. And Legis says, crazy how Betty White just barely didn't hit 100.
Yeah, she died like a couple of days before her 100th birthday. The Elizabeth Taylor, good movie.
Talking about the original Cleopatra.
Fonzie had a cartoon?
Yeah, that's right. It was time traveling. In the cartoon show. It was weird.
Bootleg, similar to pirated copy.
Okay, yeah. That's right.
Oh, don't use Facebook. We'll post later in comments. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, do that.
Because it'll probably work there. For some reason, ScrewTube doesn't like people putting stuff in the chat. So if you use a lot of foul language, it'll probably block you or throw you out or remove your comment. And if you put a link, it'll probably remove your comment to avoid spam, stuff like that. But yeah, afterwards you might be able to post it. But are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Tuck says it's not bouquet, not bucket, it's bouquet.
Sure,
that's right. That's right, Mrs. Bouquet.
Mrs. Bucket.
But anyways,
yeah,
we're almost at the getting closer to 3-hour mark, so we're gonna go ahead and sign off. We're gonna get something to eat, and do our little things. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah,
we enjoy sharing with everybody and just shooting the breeze and talking nostalgia. So hope you had a good time. And we will do it again sometime soon.